Hello, hello, friends, hello. Ooh, welcome to our Curse of Strahd stream. Ooh, get ready to be spooked. I'm Debbie. I use she/her pronouns, and I am your dreadful dungeon master. Dreadful, not because I'm terrible, although maybe I am, but because this is a horror campaign, and I like using descriptive words. Before we get into the housekeeping announcements, I would like to introduce you to your exceptional cast. So we're just going to do names and pronouns for now, pals. We'll do your characters when we get to them. So please say hello first to Ghoulish Galway.
Hello, everyone. My name's Galway. My pronouns are he, him, or they, them.
Please say hello next to Evil Elise.
Hello, my name is Elise. My pronouns are she, her, hers.
Awesome. Next, please say hello to Apocalyptic Adam.
Hi, everybody. Yes, my name is Adam, and I use pronouns they, them, or he, him.
Fantastic. And last but by no means least, please say hello to Lamentable Lena.
Hi, I am Lamentable. I'm Lena, and my pronouns are she, her.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, so housekeeping announcements. We are affiliate on Twitch, which means you are able to cheer and subscribe. That's good. You should definitely do that. There's also a way you can link your Amazon Prime account to support us via Prime Gaming. I don't have Amazon Prime because Jeff Bezos and I are nemesis. He doesn't know this, but we are. But you should definitely support someone if you have that, if not Helpful Goat. Mum, if you're watching this, I can help you get that set up. Don't stress. We also have chat commands if you're in the chat, and you should be, because it's often very good fun and hilarious. I probably won't be today because I've got many things to monitor. There's a whole book. It's very exciting. So !Discord will get you a link to our Discord community. That's a cool place to be. You can hang out with all of these lamentable, apocalyptic, evil, and ghoulish folks. Also, if you want to see pictures of my dogs, get in there. !Merch with a M, not nurch. Will get you a link to our merch store where you can buy cool stuff with artwork designed by members of the community in reference to campaigns and some inside jokes. But they become outside jokes very quickly because we're very willing to share the jokes. !Ko-fi, coffee, Ko-fi. If you would like to support us, please send us money. In this capitalist hellscape that we live in, it helps us buy assets like books and stuff in Roll20 for this game. Thank you. And !Donate. Galway, Andy makes you do this bit. So please, can you do this bit?
Yeah, !Donate takes you to a link to donate right now to the Trevor Project, benefiting LGBTQ and youth in America. If you have the time, resources, etc., please check them out. And as always, we encourage you, look for a local charity to donate your time, energy, resources to if you are so inclined.
Marvelous. Thank you, Galway. Okay, where can you get more Helpful Goat besides just this, you ask? I heard you. We have 3 podcast feeds we would love you to listen to wherever you find podcasts. Goats and Dragons is the 1 to 20 level long form campaign that Andy DMs set in his world of Banya. It's amazing, incredible. We're in Act 3, so we're hurtling towards the apocalypse conclusion, but we're going to be a while because it takes us a while to get to dinner. We've got things to do, okay? There's also Helpful Goat Presents, where you can find shorter campaigns, one-shots, and in that feed you'll find a lot of really cool stuff in the world of Tyr, which is kind of like an interlocking series of campaigns GM'd by Galway. If that excites you and interests you, there is a spreadsheet, there is some notes. We're trying to join up the dots because Galway's trying to keep secrets, and we don't have any time for that. So get involved in that. And finally, we also have Dom and Dragons, the 25 episode campaign, where actor Dominic Monaghan joined Helpful Goat to play some D&D, which was unbelievably cool, and that's how I found Helpful Goat. You can also find a bunch of our content on the YouTube. as I believe the kids say. Meg, you can tell me if they say that or not, before it gets turned into podcasts, in case you want to get ahead of the curve. Okay. 2 final announcements before we really hit the ground running. This is my first time being a DM for Helpful Goat on like a campaign. I've done one-shots before, but as my friends will attest, generally my vibe is silly and chaotic, so I'm trying a lot of new things here, wrangling the rules and books and Roll20, and aiming for this gothic horror vibe. So I thank you in advance for your patience as I fumble along. Secondly, this is intended to be a horror stream that may not be suitable for everybody. Themes today include general unspecified ominous danger, harm to children, death by suicide, evil rituals, ghosts haunting, being trapped, some gore and gruesomeness. So if that doesn't sound good for you today, feel free to give this one a miss and take care of yourselves. So welcome in to our Helpful Goat Curse of Strahd stream. I believe there is a Chelsea poem. Would somebody like to read it, please? I can voluntold somebody.
Someone, not me, because I'm still fiddling with settings.
Elise, I reckon you want to read it.
I would love to read it. I read the one for Spire the other day, so I was like, I'll wait and let someone else, but I'm so happy to. Let me find it. I have it. Okay, computer is now cooperating. Gothic horror surrounds this new campaign, magic and blood in every vein. Vampires, wizards, and a cast so dreamy. An exciting story awaits with meanies and encounters hella schemy. So much love and cheers to Debbie on your HGDM campaign debut, and tons of love. Curse of Strahd Goats. We can see and hear you.
Woohoo!
Beautiful.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Lovely.
Oh my goodness, it's just the icing on the cake, the Chelsea poem. What a delight. All right, are we ready to dive in? Yeah?
So ready. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's dive.
All right, you're all cursed, which means you have disadvantage on everything. No, I'm kidding.
That's what Curse of Strahd means. We're cursed.
You're cursed.
Forever. This is the permanent state of the campaign. Disadvantage on everything.
You've got 3 levels of exhaustion. No. Goodness. Okay.
So if I don't sleep, I die.
I die. Yeah, I was going to say one missed night and we're dead.
Yeah. Now, there is a note to myself at the top of my notes to make sure that the music is playing. Is the music playing? Can you hear the music? Is it really loud?
Yes, I can hear it.
20?
I hear
yeah,
it.
now I hear it.
How do I need to turn it down?
I think we can control our own music levels also, if we need to.
Oh. Yeah,
They
I would
changed
maybe
the settings, but it still exists. I just can never find it now.
I'd maybe leave it up on your end, Debbie, and then we can lower it based on what we need.
Could somebody
Alright.
tell me what fucking tab that's on now?
I don't
It's
know.
on the one that looks like a speaker with sound waves coming out of it. The jukebox.
But our our individual volume sliders are not
It's
there.
Sorry,
in the
it's under the
far right
cogwheel,
Okay.
and then
settings,
audio,
Under
video,
audio. I see.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. I was like repeatedly saying this, and I forgot I was already on push to talk. So I was like, why is?
Nobody's reacting to you, Galway.
Okay.
Probably stream can tell us too if it's too loud.
I'm seeing stream can't from Chelsea.
Yeah.
Working on it. It's not that it's not too loud. It's
Thank
because
you,
I forgot
Chelsea.
to add the source there.
Ah.
I asked her, let us know if anything gets wonky, because new overlays and everything.
Thank you, friends. Your support is greatly appreciated.
We should be good now. God damn it. Push to talk. Jesus, you've been doing this for like 5 years.
Goy, you can't be good at everything. Okay. So, our adventure begins as so many stories do, on the road. An adventuring and trade caravan, about 15 people strong, plus horses, is heading north on the Tradeway, past the Misty Forest, and towards the town of Daggerford and the city of Waterdeep. Each of the members of the caravan has their own reasons for being on the road, some for money, some for glory, some just to travel to the destination. Galway, would you like to introduce your character and tell us why you are on the road?
Yeah. Diota, pronouns they, them, is an elf. They're slender, even by elvish standards. They're not especially tall. I think they're like 5'3". So a little bit shorter, even than many elves. They have very, very pale skin. They are usually like hooded. They normally have a muffler on. They seem to like to bundle up generally. What you can see, like of their skin, like if they roll up their sleeves to pick something up, and on their face, is that they're covered in very elaborate tattoos of different colors and sort of weaving, often of sort of a weaving sinuous line pattern. They have a shaved head and very pale blue eyes. They are on the caravan guarding, I use this term very loosely, a set of magical tomes and history books, essentially like, rare and valuable books that are being shipped up to a buyer in Waterdeep. They have been traveling and adventuring for some time. They're mostly using this as a way to get to Waterdeep and be paid for getting there, not having to pay for it. They mostly sit in the book cart and read the books. It's not entirely clear whether that's something that they're supposed to do based on their job description, but they're doing it. So.
Mm-hmm. And no one's there to tell you that you can't do it, so it's probably fine. All right. So you're traveling in this like classic horse-drawn covered wagon with a big old pile of books and reading the books. Excellent. Also traveling in the caravan, Elise, would you like to introduce your character and maybe tell us a little bit about your interactions with Jota and why you're on the road?
Sure. So Mink is a young Firbolg man. He's as he him pronouns. He is pretty kind of withdrawn. He's sitting with Diota inside, kind of looking out the window, hanging with him, has been for a little while now. He's on his way to Waterdeep to find his sibling, and he's told Diota a little bit about his sibling that he hasn't seen in many years, who left home in their teenage years to go to Waterdeep. Mink took a different path and has been telling Diota stories about his time in the military, his time, just doing missions. And he talks about it, but it's a lot of kind of surface level stories about his time without too many specific details. And I think it would be pretty obvious to Diota as well that Mink is at least a somewhat devout follower of the Church of Torm. So has holy symbols of Torm clearly displayed, and spends at least a little bit of time, if they've spent a few days together, with the holy symbols kind of in thoughtful reflection or prayer. And yeah, I think, he's a Firbolg. He is tall. He has kind of slender, but muscular, has pale fur that's very thin and covers him all over. And green eyes, short brown curls, and heavy armor.
Clink, clank.
Clink, clank.
Lovely,
Baby.
lovely. Do you think either Diota or Mink interact with the other folk in the caravan at all, or are you just kind of you found a little slot together and you're all right?
Jota mostly Jota does interact with people, but doesn't seem like they go out of their way to. But they do, like, when the caravan will like stop for the night, and campfires are set up, dinner is going. They don't sort of come out right at that point, but they tend to come out a little bit later when, say, some of the caravan guards have like gone to bed or are out doing other things. Sort of once the dinner rush breaks up, then they'll come out and they'll sit, they chat with people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of similar vibes. I think this is why maybe Mink took to Diota so well at the beginning of kind of joining up with the caravan is uh, Mink is friendly. He's just quiet and kind of reserved, polite. And so he would follow, like, see a kindred spirit, at least from his perspective, in Diota, and then kind of follow along with this and follow his lead, and offer his services for sure anywhere that he can around the camp. As well as kind of keeping an eye, especially at night, as they kind of emerge from Diota's um, book wagon, keeping an eye on things. Yeah, watching for signs of threats, things like that.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Speaking of threats, as you're traveling, you and the caravan hear the same refrain repeated: werewolves in the mist. You've heard these dreaded words spoken again and again by the farmers that you've gone past, by merchants, by other adventurers you've met on the road. And this is now like the topic around the campfire at night, is what's going on with these werewolves. The hamlets south and east of Daggerford seem to have fallen prey to a pack of werewolves that spills out of the misty forest on the nights of the full moon, when the woods are cloaked in crawling mist that seems to follow wherever the werewolves go. They spread death and mayhem, slaughtering and stealing adults and children before retreating back into the woods. Others have tried to combat the werewolf menace. So far, it seems with little success. You're travelling through the area onto Waterdeep, and since there are actually quite a few of you on the road, it's decided that you're gonna, take a little look. And this plays into your kind of goal, Mink, because you met with the head of the local chapter house of the Order of the Gauntlet, a knight called Lanivar Strahd, before you set out. And they let you know that they've stationed members of the Order along the road at various inns and homesteads east of Daggerford, including in your hometown, so that the locals don't need to fear the night. Now, because of your experience and special skill set, shall we say, they're hoping that you can get into the area and find out what's going on. Do they have a lair that needs to be rooted out? How many of them maybe there are? What the story is in the Misty Forest. And then the Order will organise and mount an assault. Lanivar Strahd gives you his blessing and also a potion of heroism before you set off.
Okay, let's go, Lanivar.
You can write that down. Gives you a mission and a little bit of a pick-me-up.
Okay, I will add that to my inventory.
Do you need to know what that does?
I have pulled it up on Roll20. So let me look. I can, if it will ever load. For 1 hour after drinking it, you gain 10 temporary hit points that last for an hour. For the same duration, you are under the effect of the Bless spell. No concentration required.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. Mm-hmm.
Was I given any indication from Lanivar that this is a secret mission that I need to be coy about, or can I just tell Diota, by the way, I'm supposed to be looking into these werewolves?
No, not at all. There's no secrecy to your mission whatsoever, and it's something that's been the other members of the caravan, the other folks that are there, right? There's a bunch of scouts and fighters and folks who are good in battle, and some knights and a mage.
Awesome. Are any of them also affiliated, sorry, with the order?
No, you're the
Okay.
only member of the Order of the Gauntlet.
Got it.
But there's no kind of animosity towards you for that. That I think everybody realizes that maybe the Order are pretty well placed to deal with this threat if you can just find it.
Yeah.
And the advantage of going in the group that you have is you're not like isolated farmers or homesteaders. You're going to be pretty well protected if there's 15 of you. So
Cool.
you're on the way anyway, and it's just like a little detour to go to the woods for like a day and see if you can discover anything. Okay. You departed that morning from a tavern on the tradeway called the Beckoning Stranger to travel to the edge of the Misty Forest. You're about 80 miles south of Daggerford, but you only need to go a little way off the road. It's right where the forest comes closest to the road, so it's like maximum of like 5 or 10 miles off the road. So you're gonna take the day to get there, do a little bit of exploring around, camp out there, do a little bit of exploring the next day, and then get back to the road and continue on your journey. So you're really only going to lose about a day's worth of travel to do this investigation. So you're on the road, traveling along. Is there anything that Diota and Mink would like to get up to whilst on the move?
So, Mink, why are we doing this again? What? I just... Why are we going towards the werewolves?
They're evil. They need to be eradicated. They're
Okay.
killing people.
So does hunger or thieves in Waterdeep. Perhaps we could
Yeah, but-
move towards those.
We are moving towards those. We're just taking a detour to take care of.
We're definitely going east right now.
Yeah, to take care, to find out what's going on, report back to the order, and then we'll leave it in their hands. It's going to be one day. It takes more. Do you need to be in Waterdeep that fast?
No. It's not that Waterdeep is the consideration so much as, I vastly prefer my distance from werewolves being at least 1 day's travel or more.
We can't do nothing when there's werewolves terrorizing the countryside.
I suppose.
I can't do nothing. You could stay here, guard the books.
I think the books are coming with us, aren't they? Is the whole caravan going, or?
Yeah. The whole
Yeah.
caravan's going.
I'll...
But you could stay in the wagon
No, I won't.
while everyone else is snoopsing.
I won't stay in the wagon.
Okay, well, we're just going to go check it out, report back to my superiors, and then we'll move on. That's all we have to do.
Fine. I'm going to huddle behind you if there are werewolves.
That's fine.
I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I'd probably be hiding behind Mink if there were werewolves. All right, so the journey to the edge of the forest is pretty easy. Is there anything that you'd like to do, like as the woods come into sight? It's a pretty thick forest, but you can still, see through the trees. It's not like you're immediately bam at the edge of the thick forest. It's got the normal like transition that you'd have from kind of grassland into woods.
No, but I think Mink is visibly relieved when they cross into through the tree line into the forest.
Okay.
Diota's
The
probably
pla-
drawing.
Sketching. Lovely. The rest of the caravan, so you've got a few like scouts with you, and there's 2 dragonborn knights on heavy horses like right at the front, and then the scouts have kind of fanned out in front of you. There are numerous kind of paths into the woods. It's not like close packed kind of trees that you can't navigate through. There's plenty of room for you to take the wagons through in different paths. Do you want to look for anything?
Sure. Mink will, if we're getting close to where the reports are, like we're close enough now that investigation is in order, then absolutely Mink would kind of square himself up and take a deep breath, hold on to his holy symbol, get down from the wagon, and start kind of doing whatever he can to help with the investigation. His skills are not in the tracking and investigating side of the military, so he will be assisting where he can with that. But if you need him to helm things, I will happily make some 0 and -1 rolls for you.
Diota,
No, you're good.
Diota will be going with you, sort of muttering under their breath the whole way. But they are very good at investigation. So if an investigation roll would be called for, that's something that they would be happy to help you with.
I think that's a very good idea. I think the scouts are kind of like looking through the underbrush and looking for tracks and sort of, assessing trees and where the water is and all of the kind of survival-y type things, you might say. But if you want to investigate the area additionally, that would be most welcome.
Sure.
I will assist with the hope of giving advantage to Galway.
I think you certainly can have advantage.
First roll, no pressure.
22.
A 22. Okay, so with a 22, you identify a number of things. Firstly, this is a very beautiful wood. It's very lush, very green. The climate and environment are obviously very suited to the plants that are growing here. All the plants are very suited to the environment that they're growing in. It's not like a kind of tropical forest. It's way more temperate than that, the climate, but it's beautiful and thick and lush, and there are lots of creatures and critters around. It is a very well-populated natural environment. But you do notice that there are some disturbances to the natural order. So you see definitely some claw marks on trees, which maybe aren't completely unexpected, except they're taller than the average human. They are not at a point where you think like a bobcat or a bear maybe could even reach, and they're a different claw pattern mark to bears. They look more like a human hand with claws, for example. So you think werewolves, obviously, because you're primed to think werewolves. And as you're investigating around with the rest of the caravan, multiple of the scouts call out and point out to you different tracks. So you can see and follow werewolf tracks into the trees. But nobody can find anything current. It looks like the last rainfall, which was maybe 3 or 4 days ago, made the ground a bit muddy, and these imprints were made then, and they haven't been removed yet, but they're not fresh. And there's nothing like, there's no bundles of clothes that would imply that a werewolf was about. There's no like, oh, there's a werewolf or a dude sitting over there. There's nothing currently happening, even though there are all the signs that they have been here in the relatively recent past.
I guess we can move a little further, fan out, see if we can find more fresh tracks to follow, see if we can find any signs of where they're currently hiding out. So so with that, I think Mink would kind of try to organize the scouts out a little into a fanning out, and ask them to like look for fresher tracks.
Okay. They will absolutely do this there. How many scouts did I put in your gang? Let me double check. You have got scout, 3 scouts, 4 scouts, 4 scouts, 1 spy. I don't know why you've got a spy.
And
Cool.
I'll volunteer Diota and myself as a 6th scouting pair.
Okay, interesting. So with that, you kind of send everybody off in a like 180 fan, so going out, like two people go out to the sides
Mhm.
and then
Yeah, kind of
whatever.
search party style. You like kind of zigzag back and forth in your little like track that fans outward until you've got too much distance, and then we report back to each other what we found.
Okay, so you can do that like a couple times, 2, 3, 4 times, kind of exploring different areas of the forest. You find nothing further, nothing fresher. There's still the odd sign here or there, like a big human foot with clawed toe marks, or there's like some scratches on wood, or like a dead something or other. But nothing fresh, nothing further, and nothing that gives you a good picture of which way they went. It seems that their movements in the woods are a little bit chaotic. The angles of the tracks that you've been able to find have been crisscrossy. So it seems that they're moving in multiple directions.
It's not like a column moving. It's not a march. It's more like, oh,
No.
running this way, running that way.
Yeah.
So with that information, do we get the sense that this is like a base from which they've been moving out and around, or like that we've found kind of like a hub of activity? It's just been abandoned for 4 days?
What would be the brain skill that would make you think that I can make you roll? Would that be survival?
I'd love it to be
Or insight?
persuasion or athletic.
You're going to persuade the woods. Tell me your secret.
Yeah,
I think it's
sure.
survival.
I think survival
It
would
would
be
feel like,
most
yes, or probably survival or like an extended application of investigation.
survival, I think.
Yeah. Would you like to roll a survival to see if you
I'd
can work out what the
love
tracks
to.
mean?
Just a second. Nope, I don't have guidance. I'm so used to having guidance.
I will at level 2. Oh
Okay, you
no, I didn't have
have
advantage.
advantage.
It was a nat 20 if I
So-
had advantage, but it's a 13.
Sorry, it's a 13. So with the 13, you don't think that that's a terrible conclusion to reach. You think that maybe it's exactly that. Like somewhere in this, maybe they've been coming from or going to, and that's why the pattern is a little bit chaotic, because they're maybe branching out from here and then returning. Or maybe werewolves are just a little bit chaotic in how they travel, and sometimes they don't go straight as the crow flies. They just squig swag around because they're having a good time.
Okay.
You're not a werewolf expert, unfortunately.
Not a werewolf expert. I think that Mink is not ready to let this go because he has
Mink
oaths.
release.
Mink
Oh,
has
Mink, okay.
oaths about
Mhm.
this. So I think like Mink, Diota or someone will have to drag him away if he cannot find clues. So I will.
You
the
probably
last-
weigh 4 times what Diota does.
Oh, yeah,
They're not
yeah.
dragging you anywhere.
But you can also tell me, Debbie, like if we're reaching like a point where like Mink needs to move on, you just tell me. But I do think like the next thing he would look for is signs of like is there a den? Is there something underground? Because there's no fresher tracks in any direction. They have to be coming from somewhere. So I think he'd start looking for
A burrow?
a
Or
burrow.
a cave?
Yes.
All right. You can certainly investigate for a burrow or a den or a
Diota.
cave or something.
I'll turn to my good
Yes.
friend and I'll be like, listen, I know you've got the big brains. Any caves around here? Any burrows?
I can look about, I suppose.
You can investigate Diota with advantage, since I'm assuming that Mink is
Yeah.
helping.
Standing right next to him.
16
going,
instead of a fumble.
Oh, okay, happy days. A 16, yeah. You look for a while, to the point that it's now getting like late afternoon and the sun is lowering in the sky. And you find a badger set or two. You find several rabbit and hare warrens. And you do find a cave, and then a bear comes out of the cave, and you go, not that cave. And you leave the bear alone because
I
you're not
don't-
stupid.
I don't think the bear is evil. I think we should go.
No, the bear is not evil. Okay, all right.
So it's getting, you're not. The plan was not to like make it back to the road and make it onto Daggerford tonight. You've still got a long, long way to go. You're not going to make it to Daggerford tonight or tomorrow or the next day. The plan was to camp in the forest. So, the other members of the caravan, would suggest. Gudrun is a dwarf who's pretty. She's pretty cool. She's pretty hard ass, and she says, we should find a place to camp now before the sun sets. Get settled, set up a perimeter, so it's defensible.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, we'll find a place to camp.
Would you like to find a place to camp, Mink, or would you like to rely on the scouts or somebody else to find a place to camp?
I think the scouts have got this in hand. Mink knows his place in a hierarchy, and it's not scouting for the campsite.
The campsites. Oh, okay. Fingers crossed. Let's see.
Let's go, scouts. Here we go, scouts.
Let's go, scouts. Here we go, scouts.
I'll give them advantage if I can. I'll help them. I'll stand by their side and be like, are you sure about that tree? And other helpful things.
Are you sure about that tree? I feel like Mink maybe gives them disadvantage.
I'll be like, that
because
cave
Mink
there,
is distracting.
that cave has a bear.
Got a bear in it. Okay, well, you're lucky.
Why are we
You're lucky.
still near the cave?
Leave the poor bear alone. Okay, so you do find a spot. There's a nice clearing with maybe like a rock edifice at the back. So not the cave with the bear in, but another kind of rocky outcrop that you can back onto. So you're only going to be having to defend like a 180 radius rather than 360. And you're with experienced adventurers and travelers. And so the wagons are circled on the kind of outside, and there's a nice camp set up in the middle. And the knights and the scouts are like a watch is set. They're patrolling. They're fine. So it's a very well set up camp. You feel very confident that it is defensible. Is there anything that you particularly would like to do to set your camp up to survive the night?
Jota's going to, I assume like one of the carts has a bell on it or something. Just, Jota's gonna walk up, pull out a small calligraphy brush, and write on just a smallish stone, like a small flat stone that they find. Just write a little sort of image of a bell, and ring the bell really loudly for like 6 seconds, and then stop, look around, and then touch, like intentionally press on the stone, and the sound of that bell will come out. If any of you hear this, please help me.
That's cool. How'd you learn how to do that?
If you can capture the essence of something sufficiently through depicting it, sometimes some of its qualities can be pulled through to the item. So by depicting the bell correctly and sounding it, that echo now lives in here.
How long does this last, Galway? Your bellstone?
It's I can only have 4 of them, but
only
so, like I can have. There's different effects. This is incidentally magical tinkering, by touching an object of, I think it's like very small or lower. I can infuse it with one of a variety of effects. The bell can only be heard from 10 feet away. So it's a muted echo of it, but still.
Yeah.
Mink will draw a picture of a torch on a rock and see if he can make it light up.
I'm gonna watch you. I'm gonna watch you do that. Jota's gonna stealthily go over to the rock
Oh
and
no.
draw on it.
Mhm. Well,
and-
Mink is like trying to strike it with a flint or something because he saw you ringing the thing to get it to work, so he knows that he has to do something like that.
It's now emits bright light in a 5-foot radius and dim light for another 5 feet.
I'm magic. I've never been able to do that before.
I'm just now realizing the drawbacks of what I've done.
Okay, so Diota has their bellstone, and Mink has their light rock, and the camp is set up like it's much more tense tonight than it has been other nights. In the forest, as the sun sets, the woods darken. It looks like the trees begin to close ranks. Their leaf and needle-covered arms kind of interlock, and everything looks so much more ominous when it's dark. Even though you have a fire lit and you have a patrolling watch and you are confident that you're safe, it's a little bit nervous. A shroud of mist comes in that covers the ground, and as time goes on, it turns into creeping walls of grey fog that silently envelop you until you can't see more than kind of the edge of your camp and where the patrols are still happening. This forest is well and truly misty. What would you like to do? Do you want to go to bed? Do you want to stay up? Do you want to... You don't need to take a watch. The other members of the caravan have that covered. You and Diota have a little spot set aside by the book wagon where you can sleep.
I think that Mink and Diota, and tell me, Golly, how you feel about this, but I think that like it's been a few days of traveling together, right? At least.
Yeah. That's
Okay. So I think that we have like an evening time like thing that would, because you like stories and Mink likes to tell stories. So I think that there is kind of like a just like a kind of a calming ritual around setting up for finishing dinner, cleaning out the cookingware and everything, and just kind of Mink will like sit back and very tense still looking out in the forest, but in its own way, like the fog is kind of nice to Mink, and will kind of like look over at Diota and be like, what story you want tonight?
Perhaps the one where you caught the thieves would be fun.
Yeah. So, and then Mink will just kind of launch into a story, and I think it just kind of rambles, right? Like Mink is not necessarily a great storyteller, a little young and a little dumb to have figured out like a great structure to a story, but it like maybe picks up where they left off last time this story was being told. So and then the thieves were just like running for the hills, and we knew we had to catch up to them before they made it to their hideout, because once they got there they were like entrenched and it would have been a whole thing, and it was so muddy. I was just drenched in mud, right? And it just kind of goes like this.
Excellent.
Jota takes the occasional note.
Diota is a great friend. This rambling, expansive story. Diota's like, oh, okay.
Muddy.
Muddy.
Underline.
Yeah, Mink's stories are not that compelling, honestly. Like, oh yeah, you caught some bad guys running around in the mud one day. Wow. Sounds like an adventure.
Sounds like an adventure, for sure. All right. But eventually, do you think you'd tuck up in your bedrolls and get a
Go
good
to
night's sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
before we finished doing that, Diota would very carefully draw a little line around where we camp, and like sort of like the wagon, but also just sort of the little part maybe like right outside it where we set up our tent. And for just a moment, and I think Mink would have seen this before, so maybe it's in sort of normalized for him, but for just a moment the ink almost flashes silver. And Jota has set the alarm spell, with themselves and Mink specified as not setting off the alarm, and the alarm is audible. It's not the kind that just rings in Jota's head.
So, what triggers if something crosses the line that you've drawn in the ground?
Until the spell ends, an alarm alerts you whenever a tiny or larger creature touches or enters the warded area.
Okay, cool. So, you have a restful night's sleep, undisturbed by your alarm. You feel pretty nice when you wake up in the morning. But then you realise the woods around you look a lot darker. The trees are thicker and taller. The fog is still present, but it's thinner, allowing you to see more of your surroundings. The first thing you notice is it is just the two of you.
The wagon's
Gone, not present. The line on the ground, not present. Your bedrolls, your backpacks, your bits and pieces are there, but there are no other people around. There are no tracks. There are no wagons, no horses, no tomes or bags or boxes of books.
I think Mink's weapon is in hand. So, shield up, Morningstar out, looking for threats.
Okay, cool. Elsewhere, the night before, a satyr with curly hair is also setting up camp for the night. They have a well-cared-for green tent pitched and a jolly little fire burning. They're travelling alone, but in the morning, they also find themselves in a different forest to that which they went to sleep in. Elsewhere, a red-skinned person with horns, a tiefling, it seems, is walking alongside a beautifully painted red and yellow and green barrel-topped horse-drawn wagon. They are chatting animatedly to the family that owns the wagon as they stroll along, carrying a pack full of supplies. They look ready for adventure. But back to where we were, Mink and Diota. All of the trade goods are gone. Nobody's there. Your weapons in hand, you're ready. What do you want to do?
Did they leave us in the middle of the night? I would have woken up.
Also, I don't think they could have taken our wagon. We literally put the tent against one side of it. Debbie, based on some of the things that Diota knows, is there a check that they could make against like what kind of effect this might be? Do they think that they've been moved, places have been moved, it's an illusion, any of these kinds of things?
A great question, Galway. So you can do like a survivally to see like if you can find any tracks to see who's moved where. You could do an arcana to see if there's like a magical effect at play, if it's like an illusion situation. You could do like a general perception to look around and see what you can spot. You could do an investigation if you want to kind of learn more about where you are. You could do persuasion if you want to yell at the trees for them to tell you what's going on.
If you start yelling at trees, I can talk to trees.
Here we go.
Just saying.
I think Diota will probably start with an Arcana check.
Okie dokie.
16.
All right. So there's not currently a magical effect at play, it seems. There's no like illusions present. There's nothing that's kind of telling you, oh, we're under the effect of a spell or anything like that. But you're not sure if there previously has been a magical effect. But there's nothing happening now. But you don't know whether everyone else was like teleported away, or you were, or something else happened, but nothing's happening at the moment.
So, this does not appear to be an illusion or an enchantment. Wherever we are really there. I'm also going to make a logical inference, Debbie, but it's based on something that Jota could notice. The fact that my spell isn't here suggests that it's not that everyone else got moved. Either we got moved or something even stranger has happened.
I'll use Divine Sense. Paladin things I forgot about. So I'll use Divine Sense. Presence of strong evil registers on my senses like a noxious odor, and powerful good rings like heavenly music. As an action, I get basically 6 seconds of knowing the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. I know the type, but not its identity. And I can sense places or objects that have been consecrated or desecrated.
Within 60 feet?
Within 60 feet. Here, I'll put it in the chat too if you want to read it.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so you do not detect any consecrated or desecrated places within your local area. Neither do you detect any celestial fiends or undead around you, but the whole place where you are feels rotten. It turns your stomach. There's a kind of really rich, rotting smell while you have this divine sense up. And there's a big sense of corruption, but it doesn't seem to stem from anywhere. It's coming from all around you. The mist, the trees, the land, the air. Something is not right about this place that you are in, but you cannot pinpoint the source.
This place, if we've really been moved, Diota, this place is wrong, evil, bad. We should try to find our way back, or at least find other people and see what's going on.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. So I would assume that you pack up all your gear, get your backpacks on.
Yeah.
Which direction do you want to go?
If we have a sense of like back towards any towns or surrounding areas, like I know that we're not in the same place, but I don't think Mink is not that bright. I don't think it's really sunk in that like they've teleported in some manner to a totally different place. So he would think like, let's go back towards where we last saw the caravan or where we last saw a town, right? And so maybe
Lovely.
backtracking.
Okay. So you would know that the orientation that you put your bedrolls down the night before, your heads were pointing like back the way you'd come from that direction. So if you go in the direction of headwards on your bedroll, not a cardinal direction on the compass, but that direction, you would be heading back towards the tradeway. That was where you came from.
The only thing that I think Deota would add to that is is there a direction where it looks like the forest gets deeper or thinner? Or is it just sort of all about the same?
It's all it's all about the same, and it's much more densely packed than the woods that you were in the night before. This is more like a kind of a close-in pine forest than a more temperate kind of wood. The trees are real close together, and it is darker than the wood that you were than how you remember the wood last night. So you can't kind of look and go, oh, it seems to be clearing that way towards the light, right? It all looks the same. So do you want to go bedroll headwards?
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's no sign of like, oh, it's ending over there, then they'd suggest going that way. But if it's all about the same, yep, sure.
Okay, how far would you walk in this direction? Knowing that you were probably, if you kind of left the tradeway relatively early in the morning, maybe 2 hours to the woods, you were probably exploring in the woods for like 4 or 5 hours last night. So yesterday.
Yeah, probably a few hours. I think as we go, just making survival checks from time to time to see if we see footprints, tracks, anything that would help us identify where civilization is.
Okay, you can both roll survival, or one of you may roll survival with advantage.
You can have advantage.
Sure. I'll take it. Let's go.
17. Nothing. No tracks. No signs of life. Nothing.
No signs of even like animal life?
Thing.
Nothing. I am going to talk to the trees. I'm freaked out. There should be plants. So yep, I have this. I'll put it in chat. It's a Fairbolg thing. I can communicate in a limited manner with beasts, plants, and vegetation. They can understand the meaning of your words, though you have no special ability to understand them in return. I have advantage on charisma checks you make to influence them. So I am going to go up to a dead, nasty, evil tree. I'm going to hold my holy symbol because it's the only thing that I understand. And I'm going to put my hand on the tree as well. So one hand on the tree, one hand on my holy symbol. And I'm going to say,
immediately get pricked. You get a splinter immediately.
Okay. I'll be like, okay, listen, I get that that's probably a sign. Are there people anywhere nearby? And if you can prick me again with another splinter, let's do 1 for yes, 2 for no. And can I roll persuasion?
Sure.
I'd love to persuade this tree. I have advantage on this because of my speech of leaf.
I see that.
Come on. 21.
Okay, so you rolled a 21. You don't feel a prick, but there's a kind of ominous crack, and then a great big branch falls on your head.
Ow.
Would you like to make a dexterity saving throw to get out of the way of the big branch?
Does it communicate anything to me as it falls?
No. Just that it wants to hurt you.
12.
Okay, so you hear the crack, you look up, you see the branches falling, and you dip out of the way. You're getting the feeling that this tree wants nothing to do with you and wants you to leave it the hell alone.
I look for an axe.
You trip over a tree root and fall on your face.
Okay. Giota, I don't know what we got to find something besides this evil forest. Let's get out of the forest.
I can agree with this, yes.
So are you going to keep going same direction?
As wherever we see the trees thinning.
You do not see the trees thinning, but you can keep going in the same direction.
I would say keep going in the same direction unless there was something like promising to notice. Like Diota would probably be keeping their eyes out for like if there was, the kind of trampled ground that would suggest even a smaller path or
Mm-hmm.
any.
Do you want to
signs.
make a perception check or a survival?
You can do it. I'll cheer you on and give you advantage if Debbie will let me.
Sure, I will. I'm nice.
It's a 12. Either way.
A double 12. Nice.
Which is really a 24 if you think about it.
That's not how it works. Elise, would you like to argue the point? Shall I set my timer?
No.
Okay. For everybody tuning in, I am expecting at some point that Elise and or Lena, probably both at different times, are going to say, but Debbie, and then we'll start a justification of why 212 should be a 24. I anticipate this because I know my friends.
I would like to argue.
Oh, okay. My apologies, Lena. Lena will start with, I would like to argue. And the expectation that we've set down is at any point they are welcome to do that, but I will start a timer. And for every 1 minute that they debate with me, I will get a little benefit. So they're more than welcome. Elise, if you want to try and persuade me that 212 is a 24. No? Okay. Shame. I'm just looking forward to my little extra benefit.
That's not the kind of thing I'm gonna like. That's a joke. You'll know.
Okay. Okay. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. You're just so naturally funny.
Thanks.
Okay. So with your 12, nothing. No little tracks. No like little animal burrows. No like you look for all of the normal like survival stuff that you've picked up right from being around the scouts for a few days. Try and find water. Right. Which side of the tree is the moss on? It's everywhere. The moss is everywhere. The trees are everywhere. But eventually, as you keep going in this direction, and really suddenly, it's not like the trees thin. It's not like you see the light. It's that you reach the edge of the trees, and the light does not get any brighter. It is still dim. It is incredibly cloudy. So where previously you assumed that the trees were blocking out the sun, it is just heavy grey, classic British cloud cover that means it's dark, even though it's still daytime. You come out of the woods and there is a lonely dirt road that cuts through the woods. So the wood stops, there's a dirt road, and the wood starts again straight away. It is not a like well-maintained or well-trodden path. Black pools of water stand in and around the muddy roadway. There's giant trees close in on either side. Their branches seem to claw at each other and at the mist that is still ubiquitous. You have a choice. You can go left or you can go right. I would like you both to make wisdom saving throws that will determine whether you go left. Right.
11.
16.
Okay. So, Diota, you know that you should not go left. You absolutely want to go right. You think that is safe. There is something horrendous to the left. Mink, you're not sure. Would you follow Diota's advice?
I think that the right seems a bit more promising, and even though this doesn't seem like the same place we were, that would be going, if this is some sadly downgraded version of the Tradeway, that would be the direction we were traveling anyway.
Do you think there's something...
I'm going to say Diota has been around Mink long enough that they are not mentioning the presence of something dark and evil to the left. They are focusing on the benefits of the right.
Yeah. Mink will kind of look both ways, but knows Diota is smarter and better at kind of sussing out clues than he is. And so I think that, especially without the mention of perhaps there is a great evil in that direction. Yeah, so Mink will kind of do like one last kind of suspicious look to the left and then follow Diota to the right.
I was gonna say they're not gonna make you break your oaths, but you're not breaking
Yeah,
them
yeah,
if
yeah.
you didn't know that there was evil there.
Yes.
You're just smart. Great. Okay. So you're going to continue along the road to the right. As you walk along, the fog spills out of the forest to swallow up the road behind you. So you can very quickly not see where you've been, but it doesn't really matter because the road looks again and again just the same kind of 200 meters that you can see. But then suddenly ahead, jutting from the impenetrable woods on both sides of the road, are high stone buttresses that loom grey in the fog, and between them huge iron gates hang on the stonework. They're dewy, even though it's, late in the day because the sun hasn't got up or the clouds are blocking the sun, so they haven't burnt off the dew. Two headless statues of armed guardians flank the gate, their heads now lying among the weeds at their feet. And as you approach, they greet you only with silence. Diota, you look at the head on the left side of the gate and realise it is an exact stone copy of your face, that you know what you look like, and that stone head is your face. But then you blink and shake your head, and it's just a worn, eroded, nameless statue face. What do you want to do?
Well, this is progress, I suppose. There's a structure. Hey, does that statue head look like anything to you?
I look at the statue head. Anything?
Look, it's barely even a face. It's so worn.
Nope.
But no, it just looks like a old smashed
not
up
even
statue
really
head.
a person. Too much.
Good.
Maybe like a nose lump.
Good, great.
Okay.
Good.
Does it look like something to you?
Good. Nope, not anymore.
We should go in. We wanted to find people. This feels weird, right?
Oh, yes, very, very much so, yes. Jota's gonna pull out the little bell rock, and erase it and scribble over on it, and now it glows as well.
Okay, so you've got two. Each of you has a glow rock.
Yeah.
It says,
Love it.
how do you... yours turns on and off. Mine is just on.
Boop. It turned off.
I push it again to see if it turns on, like tap it.
Let me double check something.
Just a constantly glowing rock in my pocket.
The text on magical tinkering is a little bit ambiguous because they sort of... There's, like I said, there's like 5 options of things I can do, and they have different writing around them. Reading it strictly rules as written, the rock just always glows.
Okay.
And apparently theoretically, I could have done what I just did. I would have just been completely making the rock mundane again and then making it
That's
light
fine.
again.
Mm-hmm. But I would think if you want to...
I'm going to keep them on then. I was double checking. There's some of the other things where it's like, if anyone touches it, it does this thing. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't sure if... Mm-hmm. I had thought the light one was like that, but it doesn't seem to be.
Okay. But you can always wrap it in a bit of cloth to hide the light if you need to in a dark, haunting situation. Okay. You're gonna approach the gates?
Yeah.
They're closed.
Okay. Sure. I've done this a few times in my military days, so I'll stroll up to the gates and look for any signs of a guard or someone that we would talk to get the gates open. Kind of peer
The
through,
gates
bang on them.
swing open as you
Oh.
approach.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
There's no answer.
Magic gates. I love that for us. Is there our okay? Guard towers. Any indication of a presence? Okay.
These gates are like a garden gate, right? Like it's like a large like wrought iron thing. Like
But high, like like a garden gate, but like over your head.
Yeah,
So
but
there's
like-
two stone buttresses. All I can think of is two stone butts either side. But no. So and the two statues, and then like wrought iron gates that have swung out.
but it's not like
upwards
a
away from you,
city
open in front.
wall type of gate.
No,
It's
no.
all right.
And they
Okay.
the stonework ends like at the side of the road. It doesn't continue off into the woods.
Okay. And the fog's still very dense right now.
Mhm.
So
Can we
how
see?
far ahead can we see into the path ahead?
Maybe
Past the
30
gates.
meters.
Okay.
30 feet. Let's do this in D&D. 30 feet. 40
Oh, okay.
feet.
Yeah. That's like a third of the length of 30 meters. So
Shrug.
okay. Because I was like, oh, that's a good amount. I can see. So
Thumb,
okay.
a bit away.
A bit.
You don't see
well,
anything.
Nothing. Okay.
Just the continuation of this kind of muddy, wet path.
Great. Shit. Divine sense again. I've got 3 more of them. Might as well use them.
Fire away.
All right. I take a second, clutch my holy symbol, and check for the presence of celestials, fiends, undeads, or consecrated, desecrated areas.
Only celestials, fiends, and undead.
Unfortunately, yes. I'm not a ranger. I don't get the expanded list of stuff.
What do rangers? Do they get like fae?
Oh, yeah, they get a bunch of other
Fey
stuff.
element.
Singles.
Basically, the ranger one is anything that is not of the material plane.
And the paladin one is like, is it good or evil according to the player handbook? Then you get to know about it.
Nope. No celestial, no fiend, no undead. But you like
Still get
dry
that icky
heave with how
sense.
evil this place
Yeah.
is. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
big
yeah.
ick. Big ick.
Big ick. Maybe we should turn around. We should go the other way. This is big ick. It's bigger ick than it was.
The fog is denser behind you than in front.
Love
Like
that
it,
for
like
us.
you can see maybe 2 or 3 feet behind you.
Is it normally capable for fog to be pushy? Because I feel like the fog is being pushy.
I hate that. Thanks for saying that. Let's keep going.
I'm here to help.
Okay. So you walk through the gates.
Walk through the gates.
As soon as you are past like the radius of the gates, they swing closed behind you.
I back up and try and see if they'll swing open again.
They will not.
I go around them because you said they stop in
You
the
cannot.
woods. What stops me? I'm genuinely like, is it like a
Force field, barrier, wall of force. You just wank. Can't go through it.
there's got to be someone else around, right? Like someone's got to be concentrating on a spell. There's got to be a wizard sitting here laughing at us because he's got his little wall of force up. Like, hello?
How loud would you say you are being at this point, Mink?
Pretty loud. I think at this point, Mink is willing to attract notice for the sake of getting some answers.
Okay. You hear in the far distance a wolf howl. Just one.
Oh,
Oh.
damn.
Maybe this is where the werewolves got to.
Or came from. Yay? What do we do now?
The fog is just the other side of the gates.
The pushy fog says, keep going towards the wolves.
Yay.
that Mink is scared and also does not like feeling cornered. So that's where this attitude is coming for him. So again, with the weapons out, I think this time a javelin so that it can be thrown if he sees something ahead. And
Sorry. So if you see anything ahead, you're going to throw a javelin.
it's not like a held action, like I'm gonna like throw it, but I think
mean,
like I see a wolf, I see a
If there's something
threatening.
threatening, you have the option as
I
opposed
have
to
the option. Yes.
horking a morning star at them.
Yeah. So I think it's like a be prepared, not like a held action of like as soon as I see something, I'll throw it. So yeah, I don't think I'll get like to skip initiative if we start a battle or anything, but more of just like for color. Mink is very ready to just go to war. Yeah.
Okay. So as you walk maybe 10 feet down the road, right, and the mist in front of you, it's not that the mist clears, it's that you're in the mist and your vision gets to like that distance. Kind of at the end of your render distance. What's that in human speak?
Fog of war.
How far you can see.
Yeah.
You see a figure perched on a log at the side of the road. They look pretty relaxed, but kind of also like they're waiting for you. Adam, would you like to introduce your character and describe what Diota and Mink see?
Oh, sure. Sure. They see a satyr. And you said the satyr is sitting on a log. He's quite large.
Yes, I just realised the music stopped. You carry on.
Oh, sure. He's quite large and imposing, although he carries himself otherwise. He clocks in at just under 6 feet tall and about 275 pounds. And he sports a belly that precedes him into the world like a jovial wingman into a tavern. He... I haven't said his name yet because you haven't asked him, so leaving out the name for now. But you can see that he wears the simple robes of a cleric with an ill-fitting outer layer of dusty traveling clothes that stretch at the seams to accommodate his girth. He has with him a plain wooden quarterstaff and a shield, which as you peer through the mists, you can see that it bears the image of a Pegasus on the front. You will see that his kind face is dominated by a large, bushy beard, the color of rich, dark chocolate, flecked with a few more strands of gray than one would expect from someone this young. He is 40. You don't know his name, but
we know he's 40.
You know his age.
I know in my heart of hearts, I look at him and I think a 40-year-old.
His hair is...
That person looks like they refer to their knees as good and bad rather than left or right.
Yeah, indeed. His hair is an unkempt but disarming mane of long brown-gray curls, out from which extend two long floppy ears that twitch on occasion. Right now, as you see him sitting on the log, his ears are twitching pretty much constantly, like on and off. First one and then the other, and they just can't stop twitching. A pair of black horns curl up and out from his temples. And his size and wild appearance notwithstanding, he carries himself as you can already kind of tell. He's sitting on this log with a kind of humility. He carries himself with gentleness and grace, tending always to bow his head slightly. And he struggles to maintain eye contact with folks these days, not just because of the fog, but anyone who does see his narrow brown eyes for more than a moment will see that they twinkle and crinkle at the corners, radiating sadness and warmth all at once.
Hello? I've got the javelin like ready to chuck.
Deota behind you. Is 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 that evil?
I use divine sense. I'll just burn through them. We're burning through them. I'm scared.
Okay.
We're using them.
Okay.
Is he a celestial fiend or undead? Is that what it is?
Yes. Those are the things that you can sense, and the person in front of you is not a celestial, a fiend, or an undead.
But I still get the sense of it's rotten around me.
Yes. A question, mechanical question. The thing doesn't. So it says that powerful good rings like heavenly music in your ears.
Mhm.
So would you think that if somebody was generally good, that it would tell you that? Because I think that's maybe a bit much.
No,
If it
I
were
don't
like,
think so.
Wowie good.
It would have to be like the presence of a celestial or a consecrated area. So something that is like otherworldly good, not just
Yeah,
like a good person.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I would agree with that. Like certain spells I could see might create that sense, but
Okay.
like I feel like
Okay,
maybe
yeah,
a
thank you.
guardian of faith would trigger it.
Guardian of Faith, wowie good. Yeah. No, the general ick feeling is definitely still there, but there's nothing extra ick about
Okay.
this person.
Okay, yeah, then I'll convey back to Diota's question, like, nope, nothing extra ick, but oh god, it still sucks around here. Anyway, hello?
Ah. Don't come through the gates. Don't come through the gates.
It's like way too late for that.
What? I could
The
have sworn
gates,
I was right by the gates. You came through the gates?
you did too, I guess.
Oh. I don't suppose this isn't the Chandlewood. I don't recognize this as the Chandlewood. This isn't the Chandlewood, is it?
I don't know what the Chanderwood is, but I'm going to go with no.
What's your name?
Huh? Oh, my name's Teddy. Teddy.
Hi, Teddy.
Was that Teddy and then in a daze Teddy again, or your name is Teddy Teddy?
My first name is Teddy. Oh, damn it. I just want to flag. Already I'm feeling the urge to make a joke.
I'm with you. I'm with
I've
you,
led
Adam.
you into
sit
this,
on,
I'm sorry.
Sit on the urge.
Teddy.
Sit on it.
Middle name in a daze, Teddy again. Last name Teddy. Okay, stick and move. All right. No, just Teddy.
How did you come to find yourself here, wherever here is?
I was traveling. I was a day outside of Hardcastle. I right on the border of the Chanderwood, and when I woke up, I was here. I don't know how. I don't know how I got here. I don't know where here is.
We don't know where here is either. Why were you so sure we shouldn't come through the gates?
When I came through, I couldn't get back through the other side. I tried going around. I thought I sat down on a log, and I thought I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna guard and make sure that if anybody else comes through these gates, or that they try, that I won't let them. I'll warn them. Although now, you see these mists, this fog. It seems obstinate. It seems, I don't know, persistent.
Can I try walking back towards the gates? What happens?
So the fog has moved like along behind you, so you can only probably go back like 2 or 3 feet until you're back in the fog.
Okay.
Would you like to get back in the fog?
Yeah. Maybe I'll take out a rope from my pack first. Hand one end of it to Diota. I think I have a 50-foot rope.
Mhm.
And start walking into the fog and
Nope. Nope.
No?
I wouldn't.
The gate's behind us though.
It's too late, I think. Too late for the gate. Too late for the gate. I think now we are where we are, and I wouldn't go into the fog.
What happened? Did you go into the fog?
Nope, because I know I shouldn't. I know we shouldn't. None of us should go back into the fog because the fog is bad. The fog is very, very bad, and
Yeah.
it's too late for the gate. Too late for the gate.
Okay.
Teddy has his he's stood up by now, and he's got his shield up, like kind of bracing it against the fog.
I think seeing Teddy's reaction, Mink will give up this plan for now and come back to the group.
Sure you don't want to go into the fog? Just a little bit?
Jota will hand you the rope.
Yeah, I'll put the rope back. I think a little too worried about abandoning his friends right now, or friend
Okay.
singular, and this new stranger.
Okay. Well, I think having met new friend Teddy and learning that fog is bad and pushy, shall we take a little break?
Take a little break.
Yay!
Sounds good.
You're not dead yet. That's a shame.
We're an hour and a half into the campaign.
I didn't say anything.
All right, everybody. We'll take about a 10-minute break probably, and then we'll be back. Stick with us.
Cool.
Be back soon.
Yay! BRB.
Ciao.
I can hear again.
Excellent. Excellent.
We're live now, right?
Yes.
I hope so. I hope so. So then everybody can witness as I try to ruin all your days again. Hello, friends. Welcome back. Sorry. I'm so delighted to have you back with us and Cursed again. In the first half, or so far, I should say, we've had a like a lovely time. It's not been weird or scary or threatening or horrible at all. We have had a nice little jaunt in the woods. We found some gates. We couldn't go back through the gates. Weird. And so far it is Mink, Diota, and now joined by Teddy. Standing on a dirt track in the middle of some dense woods, deciding not to go back into the fog. Teddy seemed very vehement on that point. So, the environment around you looks really drab and unchanging. You've got the towering trees, their tops are lost in the heavy grey mist, and there's this just death grey light. It's really dull. The sun is not shining. The tree trunks look kind of unnaturally close to one another. The woods are silent, like a forgotten grave. You catch the scent of death on the air and another faraway wolf's howl. Do you want to follow that scent, that smell?
Yes.
All right. Okay, so as you continue down this road and you catch that scent, about 15 feet from the road, you find a human corpse half buried in the underbrush. The young man appears to have been a commoner. His muddy clothes are torn and raked by claw marks. Would it be a nature check to try and work out what clawed this lad?
Nature or medicine, probably.
Yeah.
Well, I will let you choose if you would like to do nature or medicine to work out what killed this chap.
I'll look at Teddy. Do you have any experience with, I don't know, medicine, the healing arts? Because I don't think either of us really do.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Practice healing. This man is dead. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Stick and move. Yeah, I'll cast a medicine check. Cast a medicine check. Roll it.
Cast a medicine check, yeah. First level spell.
I was assisting for sure, right?
You didn't say that, so no. So it's not the natural 20, it is the 6. You, Teddy, realise that this man is dead. And it seems that he has been clawed at by some kind of animal with claws, and then pecked at by something maybe with a beak. That's as much as you get. Does anyone else want to have a go at this?
I'll go take a look at it with nature, just to use the other check.
Definitely dead, though.
20, not nat.
Okay, not natural 20. The claw marks are wolf, but like werewolf, not wolf. And the crows also have been at this body, but likely post-mortem.
So in what is probably not a surprise to anyone, given the wonderful nature of our surroundings, this man appears to have been killed by a werewolf or werewolves, and then the crows have fed on him some.
Lovely.
Any sense of how long he's been dead? This would be posed to both of you because.
Do you want to try and work that out, Elise? Or are you gonna? I think
Sure.
Diota probably could work out that it's within the last week.
Within
Teddy just knows that it's dead.
probably, I mean, so I would say probably I could band it as he didn't just die, and then
Correct.
it hasn't been more than like a week or a 10-day.
Yeah.
Sometime in the last several days, I would say, but I'm not just, an hour ago or anything, but I'm not sure past that.
Teddy, you said you came from the Shanderwood?
Shondlewood.
Shondlewood? Were there werewolves causing trouble for you there?
No, Debbie, I don't think so, right?
No,
Also,
no werewolf problem.
do I know where that is? Like, because he also mentioned, I think, was it Hardcastle?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are those locations that I know?
What? Well, okay. Would it be like an intelligence check to work out if you've read an atlas in one of the books that you had in your book bag?
Yeah, I think that can pretty normally be like an unspecified intelligence check, or
Yeah, because it's not history.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like, depending on what it is, it could be history, but I don't think this one is.
Yeah. Go brain check. Check your brains.
17.
With a 17, you know that the Chandlewood and Hardcastle are locations in the southeast of Faerun. Pretty far from where you all were.
Teddy, how long have you been here?
Just like hours. I just showed up here this morning. I set up camp last night in the Shondlewood, and now I'm here.
And in no way meant to be insulting, but you're sure it was the Shandlewood, not the Misty Forest or someplace on the Sword Coast?
Right. No, I know the Sword Coast. I spent some time there like a decade ago.
So to clarify my question, we made camp last night, and then we're in this lovely place. We went to sleep in the Misty Forest just outside Daggerford. That's at least that's a week's journey away from where you were. I'm making up a time here, Debbie. I'm like, I don't know, weeks, months. Yeah.
So you set up camp in the Misty Forest.
Yes.
I set up camp in the Shondlewood.
Yes.
And now we're both here.
Yes.
That's not good.
No. Very much not. I might recommend that we continue moving.
Anything else on this corpse's body?
Lovely. Yes. You don't even need to roll a check, Elise. He holds a crumpled envelope in his hand. You want to take a little peeky peek at that?
I sure do. Good thing I can read with my 8 intelligence.
That's a weird thing to say. Do you want me to make you roll an intelligence saving throw to see if you can actually read?
Can I make a phonics check?
Actually, that would be very funny, but I think Mink's smart enough to read. He learned in the army, if not before.
All right. Okay. I'm just trying to work out how I can.
I'm just waiting for Mink to say something completely wild that's not at all what's on the letter. Just like it says to move the supply rations 2 weeks down the road and set up patrols.
The only thing Mink knows how to read is like command, like post like things from
military instructions.
Yeah, military
standard
instructions.
operating procedures.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have just shared a handout to your journals. called Kolyan Indirovich's letter.
Fabulous. Shall I
Can
read
you-
it to the group?
Yeah, can you see it? You can find it. All right, okay, good.
Yeah. Mink opens up the letter, flattens it, and then squints and thinks very hard and says, "Hail thee of might and valor." But I won't do that to everyone listening. I, the burgomaster of Barovia, send you honor with despair. My adopted daughter, the fair Irina Kolyana, has been these past nights bitten by a vampire. For over 400 years, this creature has drained the lifeblood of my people. Now, my dear Irina languishes and dies from an unholy wound caused by this vile beast. Mink's hand starts shaking with rage. He has become too powerful to conquer. So I say to you, give us up for dead and encircle this land with the symbols of good. Let holy men call upon their power that the devil may be contained within the walls of weeping Barovia. Leave our sorrows to our graves and save the world from this evil fate of ours. There is much wealth entrapped in this community. Return for your reward after we are all departed for a better life. Kolyan Indirovich, Burgomaster.
So, are we entirely sure that we've exhausted the option of running back through the fog?
You want to go in the
can't
fog?
Go back now. We have a mission.
Oh, now you don't want to go in the fog.
Do I know anything? Does any of this register for me as anything I would recognize or have read about or have experienced as an old elf?
Can you ask me that question again, Galway? I was
Yes, sorry.
multitasking.
Would any
badly.
of the contents of this letter be familiar to me or have any like meaning or connection to me, either
or
between
flag anything?
stuff I've
Yeah.
read or stuff that I've experienced or learned in a long life as an elf?
Would you like to give me a history check?
Sure. $14.
All of our natural 20s have been fake.
Lies!
On with a 14, there's something that's pinging in your memory of Barovia. Like this old ancient history that you were reading about like political history or like wars and when different places had been conquered, and there was this mention of this like fertile valley of Barovia that someone centuries ago had conquered for some reason. That's about all you get. And that's the last kind of reference in history that you have. So maybe like it's been renamed. It hasn't been called Barovia for a while. It's nowhere that you know of, Barovia. It's nowhere that like you've been to, or it's not in your atlas that you read. It's like an old history.
Okay. I've read about Barovia. I can't remember where, but it was a historical reference.
So is that where we are? Some place called Barovia?
Maybe?
Does this corpse have any kind of symbol of good on it, or any kind of holy, like any indication that it's a holy man? Was that already addressed?
You can inspect the corpse, investigate the corpse. There's nothing like obvious. They appear to be dressed as a commoner, just a normal like messenger lad. But if you want to go ferreting about, ferret away.
Um, would a religion check be also as valid, or would you like an
I don't-
investigation check?
How are you going to justify? Are you going to like pray hard at this body to be like, are you a religious body?
I'll investigate.
I wasn't prepared for Adam to start Lena and releasing me.
It's a 7 investigation.
Just looks like a commoner. You don't find any religious symbology. As you're standing over the body and you're doing this little bit of investigation, Teddy, you know that you need to press on and get to the village as soon as possible. You need to get to safety. You don't know how you know, but you do. And if you don't, the wolves will come. And as if summoned by your thoughts, you hear a lone wolf howl far off into the forest.
Teddy will, as he was done kind of investigating the body, he will have also pulled out a spyglass, kind of fumble with it a little bit, and he'll put it up to his eyes, almost like quite kind of slowly, and he'll peer through it just for like half a moment, back toward the fog, and then drop it again, and then turn and lift it slowly to his eye, looking in the opposite direction toward the village, right? He'll drop it again, and he'll clear his throat and pocket the spyglass and say, we need to keep moving. We need to keep pressing on. We can't let the fog catch up to us. We need to get to the village.
What village?
There's a village.
How long have you been here?
Just this morning. Just this morning. But the spyglass. There's a village. We need to get to it.
Get out my light and use it as a pen light and check for a concussion.
I'm just saying we need to find people. We need to go where the people are.
There's no concussion.
Okay, yeah, we do need to go where people are. I just don't know why you know where people are, because...
Spyglasses magnify things. They don't see through mist.
This spyglass has always revealed things that I've always been hesitant to see. Let's go.
Okay, I'm gonna hang back with Diosa a little bit and be like, this guy's weird, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
This whole place, very weird.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't like it.
Don't like it.
So do you want to continue to follow the single path?
I guess
Teddy began moving
Teddy's
forward,
gone?
Yeah, I was like, I guess we'll follow the spyglass of Teddy's regrets.
Rename
Taking
it in your
guidance
character
from
sheet.
the spyglass of Teddy's regrets. Yeah, I love that. I'm here for that. You move along, and it's like the same environment. You've got this monotone grey. You've got the woods on either side that are so close you can feel the trees, and this just dirt mud track with little puddles of black water in it. And you hear another singular wolf howl, but nothing further. The fog stays like right up behind you, so it's 1 or 2 or 3 feet back. You turn around and take a couple steps back and you'll be in it, so you are pressed forwards at all times. It's moving towards the middle of the afternoon, and as you trudge down this lonely, quiet dirt road, you come across a fork in your path. So if you're walking straight ahead, the path kind of continues almost exactly straight ahead, but deviating slightly to the right, and there's a fork off to the left. Both misty, because hello, it's been misty. the path that continues on slightly to the right disappears off into the fog. The other path to the left is it's obviously shorter, because as soon as you get to the fork and you look down it, it leads just to a little cul-de-sac, like the end of a path, and you can see just the dark shadows of a few sorrow-filled buildings rising out of the mist. And faintly you hear the frightened cries of a child coming from that cul-de-sac.
We're going.
Teddy, you know that you have to stay out of the fog, and you really want to go to this child, but stay out of the fog.
As soon as Dyota hears a child crying, they're just going to sigh and immediately begin taking off, because they know that
Link's sprinting.
that Mink is going to be sprinting
Full
and has
speed.
much longer legs than they do.
Yeah, and Morningstar taken out, shield up, ready to go.
He's going to do this, by the way, so if you're going to come with...
Okay, so everyone's moving quickly towards the houses in the cul-de-sac.
Mink is.
Okay, anyone thinking about, like, any self-preservation thoughts? Any want to, like, do a perception?
Oh, yeah.
Or
no.
check for traps? No?
Jota's absolutely not, like, just blindly sprinting. Jota's just moving because they know that Mink is going to be moving. Probably more... I feel like Dyota is not a soldier, so Dyota's probably more concerned about traps or pitfalls or the things in front of us than, like, the things around us, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah?
Investigation?
Sure.
18.
There are no dangers, no traps. It's just a dirty road. Like, you might slip because it's a bit wet, but
there's nothing inherently
nothing else to worry
dangerous
about.
about the road.
Cool. No, I was just trying to spook you.
Jota's freaked, so that works.
I would be
Right.
looking around, and I would very specifically be looking around for where this kid is.
Okay. So, as you're kind of leading the charge down this little path, you see, like, dead ahead is a tall brick house that has seen better days. Its windows are dark. It doesn't look like it's falling down, but it certainly doesn't look in the best condition. It has a gated portico on the ground floor, and the rusty gate is slightly ajar, but the mist is right close in around it. On your left is another building that is wider and shorter, not as tall, so it looks like a homely kind of cottage, but it's abandoned. It's obviously abandoned. On the right, there's just a ruin. Maybe it was an old stable that used to hold both horses and carriages, but it's been almost completely destroyed and devoured by the elements. Outside of that building, though, pacing backwards and forwards and chewing on a fingernail, is another person, not a child. Lena, would you like to introduce your character?
Yes. So, we all see, like, a very young woman. She looks like an adult, but very young adult. She has like red, kind of brick red horns growing out of her head, and brick red skin and auburn hair and curls. She has eyes that are completely fully white. So there's no pupil or iris visible. It's just full white. And she has kind of pointed ears and a lot of piercings kind of throughout, like on her ears, and she has a septum piercing and a nose piercing. And she's wearing mostly dark clothing, very covered up, very like high neck clothing, very covered, kind of a little like a, what is it, like a pageboy cap on her head, in between her horns. And she is pacing back and forth, and looks very, very like anxious and worried and nervous, and probably doesn't notice you all at first, or at least doesn't appear to notice you.
Well, you would probably hear Mink
Clank,
running.
clank, 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 clank.
Clank, clank. Hello? Are you... Is your child hurt?
What? I don't have a child, but my friends might be. Can you help me? Who are you? I haven't seen anybody else all day.
We still hear the kid? There was...
weirdly, there was like a singular cry, like a and then nothing.
There was a child crying. We heard a child crying. I looked to Diota and Teddy to like confirm that I didn't make this up.
No, yeah, there was a child crying. Hello.
Debbie, did I hear a child crying?
Well, okay. Now that everybody's like, "Oh, that's weird. Why is there not a child crying?" You hear instead, like a soft whimpering and two little children faces. Is that how you describe them?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of peek out from like around the gated portico, like they're obviously hiding. Maybe they were scared by the clanking. Mink, you don't know. And then as soon as like they see that you've seen them, they duck straight back around, and you hear one of them frantically. Shh, shh, shh.
Those aren't my friends.
No, but you know that your friends, that the children have been there, and your friends went into the house to rescue something.
My friends were on a rescue mission. Hey kids, I'm gonna head towards them.
Oh, this could.
Have you seen two women? They look like me, my age, kind of my height, horns.
So you've got a little boy and a little girl. The girl is older than the boy, and she shushes the boy and turns to you and says, there's a monster in our house. I think your friends went in, but they haven't come out."
Oh no. This was supposed
Teddy,
to be fun.
You know that you have to help these children. You don't know how you know, but you know that you have to help these children.
Don't worry, children. We'll help take care of this monster.
Right, and get my friends. Well, I'm sure, I mean, there's 4 of us, and, there were only 2 of my friends, so I'm sure they're just resting, inside. But we won't need to take a rest, because there's 4 of us, instead of 2. So, yeah, let's go. You're all gonna help?
I will. And this is. Did Mink and
our names?
Diota
No.
share their names with Teddy?
No, we just asked yours. So, but Mink is not thinking about sharing names unless you prompt him.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, Teddy might be like, "Yeah, we'll help." I'm Teddy, by the way, and this is. Oh, I never got their names.
I'm Diota.
Mink is like walking.
Oh God.
In.
There he goes.
And yeah, not smart, so not looking for traps. I know, Debbie. I know.
Marty.
Do you want us to tell you what we know, or you just want to go in and
please?
There's monsters. That's okay. Mink is very torn.
Perhaps more information could help us save these children and
we would like to be
this
saved.
person's friends.
There's nothing attacking you. Mari's friends are the ones. Okay. Okay. What's happening?
My name is Rose, and this is my brother Thorn. And you look at the children, and Rose looks to be about 10, and Thorn looks to be about 7, and he is clutching a stuffed doll, and he has like tear tracks engraved into his face. It looks like he's been crying for the longest time, and you realize that probably it was him crying that you heard up the road, but the moment that Rose heard you clanking down the road, she hid. What would you like to know?
What's this monster? My friends just said that that they heard something and they were going inside and they'd wait. They wanted me to wait here. They wanted me to wait in case they didn't come back, and it's been hours. What did they hear? What is it?
Okay, so there's a terrible monster in the basement. I don't know what it looks like, but sometimes we hear the screams coming up from the floorboards, especially at night. And that's what frightened Thorn, and so we came outside, and now we don't want to go back inside because it's scary.
Wait, is this
But-
your house?
We live here.
You live here?
Mhm.
Oh,
with our
Wow.
mother and our father, and I think they went to the basement because they didn't like the noise. They were wrangling it, but we're not allowed to go into the basement.
oh, so then
Because
there's,
it's probably not
there's 4, like
safe.
us. Okay.
Well, we don't go in, we won't go in the house. Just mother and father are in the house. Oh, and Walter. Oh, I forgot about Walter.
Who's Walter?
Oh, I am a bad big sister. So Walter is our baby brother. He's in the nursery. And I was afraid, so I left him. Oh no. Do you think mother's gonna be mad at me again?
Hey, do these kids seem weird? I'd like to make a check of some sort. I would say insight check.
What is it? Yes, what is an insight check at children? Sure, insight the children.
I'm trying to figure out if they seem like they're telling us the truth.
Okay.
I rolled a 21.
These children are telling you everything that they know. They are being honest. They are frightened children, which may explain their weird behavior.
Okay.
Children be weird, allegedly. I don't know.
Yeah.
We need to go in. We need to go. We need to go
Yeah.
inside. Debbie, are we now in Teddy's mind? Are we at the village, or is this house on the outskirts of the village, or does this kind of track with what he was thinking earlier? Like, this is where we needed to get to.
You know that you need to be here and you need to help these children, but you also know this is not the village.
Okay, so it's just a new priority.
This is maybe like not quite outskirts of the village. This is maybe like a nice big kind of farmhouse or noble house that's not far from the village, but not like a suburb. I don't know how to describe medieval villages and the farms that surround them.
Yeah, so like this is just like a peripheral farm.
Peripheral. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But you know that you're in the right place. You need to be here. You need to do this. And then you need to go to the village and deal with whatever's there.
What
Yeah.
level is the nursery on, kids? We're just gonna go in, go to the nursery, get your brother, and we'll go to the basement.
What? Okay, well, the nursery is... let's be clear that we're talking about floors in the same way, because some people talk about floors like crazy people. So where we are now, this is the ground floor. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then
Sure.
there's the first floor, which is one floor up. And then
Okay.
one floor above that is the second floor.
So the third story.
Sure.
No.
Okay. So is Walter on that floor? The top floor?
Yeah. I think so,
Okay.
yeah. But
Okay.
I don't... Okay. We used to have a nursemaid, Margaret, and she looked after Walter, and so I can't remember if we left him in his crib in her room or in his crib in our room. And our room is on the second floor, the third story, But Margaret's room is on the first floor, the second story.
You used to have a nursemaid?
Yeah, I don't know why, maybe she got mad at me, but she left, and so now I'm in charge of taking care of Thorn and Walter, and it's weird because all the servants have left. We used to have a few,
Rose,
but there's no one here. Hello.
Rose, Thorn, and Walter. So
We did not choose our names.
the thematic naming ended with okay.
Unless it's pronounced water.
I see.
It is not.
Water.
It is Walter.
Water
okay.
makes more sense in the okay.
Now we're talking about names. Let's go.
Okay, wait. Before we just rush in, there's a method to this.
Says Mink.
Says Mink, who's ready to rush in. But like, we've got a crew. You've calmed him down enough. He's like, why don't we clear rooms? Do this like we know is smart. We find the kid, we get him out, then we get to the basement, right? So
Yeah.
I'll go in first. We'll go slow. We'll check every room. We'll clear the first floor, or the ground floor. Then we'll go up the stairs together, clear the second floor, go up the stairs together,
The first
clear
floor.
the second floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, we're just making our way upwards.
Yes,
We're
room
not
at a
going
time.
with you though. We will.
No.
We won't go with you. No, it's not
Stay.
safe for
Go
us.
somewhere. Do you have
Absolutely
somewhere
fine.
safe you can go, children? Do you know
No.
somewhere safe?
No, this
No?
is our house, and it's
Well,
not
so
safe.
like real far away, there's a town, but you probably shouldn't start heading there. It's a long, long walk. No,
Mari,
don't do that.
leave them.
Uh,
They're as safe as they can be here. They were
Have you got
hiding
any
Stay
snacks?
hidden.
We're hungry.
I have rations. This is supposed to be an adventure.
Rations
It's food.
sound- I'm not that hungry. Okay. Never mind.
Okay.
all right. Are we ready? And I'll Mink will walk up to the door and look back to the group, like clearly falling into old military habits of like getting the crew ready to go and like waiting for the sign to breach. Yeah, exactly.
What's your name, large man?
Oh, Mink, hello.
Well, other large man. Okay. I'm Mari. I'm good at sometimes good at seeing and finding things, so I can come right behind you. And
Okay.
Let's do it. Toyota, are you coming with us, or do you want to stay with the children?
I'm going to look at the like eerie, completely tweaked out children alone on the portico of this. Be like, no, I think I'm good to come inside and help you all. I'll go after Mari, and then Teddy, you can make sure nothing sneaks up on us.
I'll hold out as so I've got both of my hands full, but I have my light stone. So I might hand the light stone back to Mari and ask her to like hold it in case it's dark inside so that we can see.
sure, I can see in the dark, but I can. If you can't,
I can't.
I can hold it. for
Maybe
you.
we'll
I know
figure out a
most
way
people here can't see in the
to
dark.
like embed this into my shield in the future. That'd be cool. Anyway, breach. I open the door, ready for a
Okay.
trap to kill me.
Roll
I would
initiative. No, I'm
probably be
kidding.
looking for traps. Like that was the meta game. Like that's what I'm doing. Is I'm hovering behind Mink looking for traps.
Would you like to roll a trap check? Investigation?
Investigation.
Yes, investigation, and sure.
While you roll
Then-
that, I will describe the entrance. Oh, sorry, Teddy, go ahead.
I'll just say that Teddy's I guess heading up the rear, and he'll just before he comes through, he's going to take one last kind of a shaky look through the spyglass in both directions, and then he'll lower it and say to the kids, like, wait here, but if the fog gets here, get to the village immediately.
Okay, mister.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, there appears to be no traps. The entrance is a wrought iron gate with hinges on one side and a lock on the other that fills the archway of a stone portico, but the gate is unlocked, and its rusty hinges shriek when the gate is opened. They're like... Oil lamps hang from the portico ceiling by chains, flanking a set of oaken doors that open into... No traps. A grand foyer. do you proceed into the foyer, Mink? Et al.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right behind. Tell me when it's time that I would make another investigation check because I'm just continuously looking, but you don't want me to continuously rolling. That's annoying.
Yeah. So I'll go in and kind of clear to the right, clear to the left, see if there are doors, anything that we need to check and so that no one can get behind us.
Okay, so you walk in and the smell of rot is just it's there and it's pretty foul. But then it goes away, so that's weird. So hanging on the south wall of the foyer is a shield emblazoned with a coat of arms that is a stylized golden windmill on a red field, flanked by framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats. There are, straight ahead, mahogany-framed double doors leading from the foyer into somewhere else, I guess.
I know they said all their housekeeping staff left, but I mean that's not terrible for a second.
Jota's pulled their muffler up over their nose now.
I'll burn my last divine sense. The house, is the house bigger than 60 feet in any direction?
But total cover.
Total cover.
The doors being closed and stuff.
Yeah, that counts as total cover. Never mind, I won't burn it. Thank you for remembering that rule, Galway. Okay. Okay, well, if the only path forward is through the foyer into the house, right? Okay, so there's no other doors.
Do I recognize the crest on the shield?
You can roll me an history check.
Can I also look?
Yeah.
10.
Since I'm
No, you don't recognize it, Jota.
I also rolled a 10, but I'm from the region, so maybe that makes it easier.
You don't recognize it either, Mari. Okay. So proceeding through the doors in front of you. All
yes,
right.
Looking for trap.
I'm going to continue your roll until I decide that I'm not going to continue your roll. So you go through the double doors and there's a wide hall that runs the width of the house. So this is like a tall townhouse and this hallway runs the width. With a black marble fireplace on your left as you go in. And a sweeping red marble staircase that spirals up to the right. Mounted on the wall above the fireplace is a long sword with a windmill cameo worked into the hilt. Mink, on the mantle above the fireplace as you walk in and you're checking everything really carefully, you see a picture that looks really familiar. It's your whole family, including your dad and Sylvie and Garen, but wrong. There are too many eyes, or when you look back, not enough eyes, and then you blink and the picture disappears.
I look at Jota and remember the statues' faces, and I'm like, what do you see on that wall?
What do I see?
So there's above the fireplace, there's a long sword, but there's nothing
There's
no
it's just a long sword. There's a sword with a cameo inset and a fireplace, but you probably weren't asking about the fireplace.
No, there was a portrait. Okay.
Was it of you?
My family?
Statue head. Me.
Okay. So something is okay. We're focusing. Other rooms that we need to check.
Okay. There's wood paneled walls that are really ornately sculpted. They look beautiful. Images of vines and flowers and nymphs and satyrs. It's just a cool scene. But then when you look closer, you actually realize that there's serpents and skulls inconspicuously like hidden in the designs, and everything looks way creepier when you look more closely at it. There is straight ahead of you a door, and then another door to the right, and then a little inset back, one square, and another door, and then the staircase up to the right. So you got kind of door, step and a door, and then a staircase up. Oh, and there's also a door behind you. So you've come through double doors, and there's a door behind you to your right as well, like into the front room, if you like.
Okay.
A
Do any of
selection
them?
of doors.
A selection of doors. If any of them look like they would most likely be closets or things, I'll check anything that looks like it would be a very quick check first.
Check a closet? Okay, so you reckon, based on kind of clevery brainness, that the second door in front of you is probably a closet, and when you open it up, it is a cloakroom that has several black coats hanging from hooks on the walls and a top hat that sits on a high shelf. It's a very nice top hat.
Well, I'll just kind of through the cloaks real quick, make sure nothing's hiding back there.
You can see through to Narnia, but other than that, nothing.
Do the clothes look like in good condition, like they get worn pretty regularly and like taken care of?
Yes, they are very well made cloaks. Like, you can look at the seams and see just how nicely made they are. They're not like worn out, but they do have like a little bit of mud around the bottom, like someone's worn this and has made use of it for sure.
Okay.
They're not like coated in dust as if they have.
No, not covered in cobwebs. Like, the house is not like grimy. There was just that weird smell when you first walked in.
Yeah, that's all.
Does Teddy have an instinct about where he/we should go?
What's an instinct check? Teddy, you think that on the ground floor, you're probably going to have like a dining room, a kitchen, like maybe the living room is the front room, and you're not sure kind of like exactly of the layout, but you reckon that that's what's down here. If you want to communicate that to everybody else, whether they want to explore those rooms.
Sure. But he doesn't feel any particular drive to go to either like the basement to like confront the monster or to find the child. Like, he's no longer getting like a clear sense of like conviction about what he should be doing.
You want to find the child and go to the basement, but you don't know how to get to the basement. And you don't know where the child is, apart from maybe on the first or second floor. Second or third story.
Sure.
So your drive is kind of to go up and down, but the stairs only go up.
Teddy would probably, at the same time that Mink is checking that closet, like, he would just be rushing around and just kind of opening all the other doors. Not like kind of getting ahead of Mink and just kind of like in kind of a frenzy, opening all of them and peering inside, just to kind of, it's his best attempt at like speeding through this process that Mink had said, like, we should do this. He's like, all right, fine, but let's get through this. We have to get to what's next.
Mario's just following around behind Teddy, peeking in all the rooms, trying to keep an eye out for anything dangerous, and also for, the baby that we're supposed to find.
Okay, so I'll do you quick descriptions of each of the rooms, and if there's anything you want to look at more, just shout. So straight ahead of you, if you go into the door next to the closet door, you find a dining room. The centerpiece of this wood-paneled dining room is a carved mahogany table surrounded by 8 high-backed chairs with sculpted armrests and cushioned seats. A crystal chandelier hangs above the table, which is covered with resplendent silverware and crystalware polished to a dazzling shine. Mounted above the marble fireplace, again to the left, is a mahogany-framed painting of an alpine vale. It's very beautiful. The wood-panelled carving in this room is elegant images of deers among the trees, but again, when you look closer, you see twisted faces carved into the tree trunks and wolves lurking amid the foliage.
Mm.
Red silk drapes cover the windows, and there's tapestries of hunting dogs and horse-mounted aristocrats. Any of
Teddy,
that tickle your
Te-
fancy?
Teddy would just open the door, look inside, take Illiths in, and just say, "Dining room."
Okay.
And we don't see a room that looks like a bedroom, like
No,
yet.
not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
The next door over takes you into the kitchen that is tidy with dishware, cookware, and utensils neatly placed. A work table has a cutting board and rolling pin atop it. A stone dome-shaped oven stands near the wall straight ahead of you, with a stovepipe connecting to a hole in the ceiling. Behind the stove and to the left is a thin door that takes you into a little pantry. And when you first look at the food in the pantry, you're like, oh god, it's so rotten. But then you blink and it's totally fine.
Does that occur for both of us or just Teddy?
Both of you.
Did you see that? Did you see the food change?
Yeah, it's like the smell. When we came in, I mean, like Barovia's weird, but this feels a little extra weird. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't seen. I don't. This just feels weird. We should hurry.
You're from here?
Yeah, aren't you? I mean, you don't look like you are, but where else would you be from?
We'll talk more about this later. Kitchen.
Just as a note, behind you is a dumbwaiter. So you can you can't get in it, Teddy, because you're too big. You could maybe put your tummy in there, but the rest of you won't be able to follow to go up and down. But you reckon like a small halfling could get in there. You don't know how you know that. Okay, so you've got kitchen and pantry,
Teddy.
you've got dining room. The door behind you as you came in, first through the double door, so it's kind of opposite where the dining room and the kitchen are, is a oak panelled room that looks like a hunter's den. It's like a living room. Mounted above the fireplace is a stag's head, and there are 3 stuffed wolves further displayed around. It's pretty gruesome. Why people are into that kind of stuff, I don't know.
What room is this?
Hunter's
The front room that's kind of opposite. So as you went in front of you was the dining room, to the right was the kitchen and pantry, and this is the front room that's kind of behind you as you came in on the left.
And you called it a hunter's den?
I did.
If you call that out, I would, which I guess I'll ask first. You call out what it is.
Yeah. Hunter's den. Yeah.
I mean, okay, well,
I'm trying to think if there's another word that Teddy would use. I'm not sure.
I would like, you said there's wolves. I think Mink would want to see, are these
Stuffed wolves.
werewolves? Is there any?
Nah. Common or garden?
garden wolves. Okay. I think we've got a lot to look at here, but as long as there's no people who might surprise us by coming up behind us, we've got to keep moving for this kid, right? So is that all the rooms on this floor?
Yep.
Wait, okay, but the children, and they didn't seem like they were lying. They said there should be a bedroom that their nursemaid lived in on this floor.
On the next.
No.
Oh, on the next floor.
floor.
It was
This is
very
the ground
confusing.
floor,
Those
Lena.
kids are really not. They were not clear about stories.
No, they don't know the difference. Okay.
We need a
Okay,
conversion
next floor.
chart for
Good. Let's have
floors,
some.
floors to levels to stories.
All right.
This is the ground floor. You can proceed up the stairs to the first floor if you wish.
So
Sure.
confusing.
Yes. Let's
It's
Let's
not
go,
confusing at all.
um,
You're
I'll-
all
I'll-
psychopaths.
I'll look for traps on the way. I mean, they wouldn't have trapped the house if they were actively living here, but that rotten food was weird. So I'm just gonna keep an eye out.
Okay.
Yeah, and how about
can-
that halfling waiter?
What?
That halfling elevator thing.
I don't think we're supposed to be making jokes.
It's not a joke. That thing that a halfling could go in and
The dumb waiter.
The dumbwaiter that's used mostly for plates and moving food up and down.
It's rich people have them in their houses to make cleaning more efficient.
Can I try to jam the dumb waiter with like a javelin just so that it's not gonna work if something tries to sneak up after us? Paranoia.
What role would that be? Like dexterity, sleight of hand? Are you attacking the dumbwaiter?
I'm intimidating it.
No,
I
you're
think
not.
it would be either athletics or if it's a dex-based weapon, maybe acrobatics, but I would guess athletics. I'm trying to be helpful because Debbie's a new DM.
Yeah, I feel like
Absolutely.
athletics, or if you were trying to do it through, like, you're driving the javelin, like, into the back wall or something so that, like, something couldn't move, then you might do it as an attack.
I'm trying to make sure it's like jammed, or at least that it would make noise. If like it would have to snap this javelin and we would hear it from upstairs if something was going to come up the dumbwaiter.
Mhm.
So athletics,
Sure.
great.
You also realize that it's only like a small creature could get in there. So like a halfling or a gnome or a
Maybe small creatures can still be dangerous.
Kids,
wolf.
children.
Oh yeah. Yeah, possessed kids could easily get in this. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay,
They're
well,
possessed kids.
all right. I'm gonna roll this here.
Roll
check.
athletics.
22.
You jam the dumbwaiter
Okay,
successfully.
great. I think I have like 4 javelins or something, so this would just be like one of my javelins left
One
behind.
javelin down.
And assuming it does not get broken, or otherwise jammed, then
Well, make a note that you've stuck a javelin in the dumbwaiter. So
And I
if you
can
want to get it
fetch
back,
it later.
you have to remember that.
Okay.
I won't.
Okay, and I would just to clarify, jam it in pretty hard so that again, it like even if some creature or thing tried to pull it out, hopefully we would hear it. I know that there's a possibility we wouldn't, but the goal is to make it so that something can't sneak up on us. So I wouldn't be dumb enough to like leave it, Yeah. Okay. Up the stairs.
Real quickly, Jota will pull out like a sheet of paper, and with one of their brushes, but reversed, like they're tapping it with the butt end of the brush, not the actual brush, is going to tap it, and an image of the rooms as we've explored them will roughly appear, like a floor plan.
Cool.
Oh, okay.
So no, like exact. Not like exact
Dimensions
measurements or
or
anything, but like there's this room roughly this big, there's this room roughly like this.
Here are where the doors are.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lovely. Lovely.
before we head upstairs, Teddy will be the last to kind of leave the kitchen. He'll kind of linger there for a moment, just kind of staring at the dumbwaiter, with his mouth just open slightly, and then he'll move on and catch up with everybody.
Yeah. Weirdly, while you're standing there, Teddy, you're suddenly transported out of your body. You are here in this house and you're yourself, and it looks exactly the same, except you are fighting. There are other people here. There's a halfling cowering in the dumbwaiter, throwing spells as fast as they can. There's an elf raging and smashing enemies with hammers. A human archer is kind of dangling from something at the boundaries of the room, firing arrows just as fast as they can. You are fighting for your lives. One by one, each of them falls as wave after wave of zombies and skeletons and shadows and ghouls overtake you. You feel a zombie grab you from behind and bite into your neck, and your hand comes up to where you were bitten, but you're just stood in the kitchen staring at the wall. There's no bite wound. You're fine. You're not even in combat. And you check yourself and you're fine. Weird.
Too late for the gate. He
Do you
catches
want
up
to
with everybody.
proceed up the stairs?
Yeah, up the stairs.
Yep.
Okay. Just 1 second, please. Doo-doo-doo. Gonna get some new music. There we go. Okay. You see the second floor, first floor, whatever you want to call it. This floor, up the stairs one level above where you were. You call it the second floor. I would call it the first floor. Are we all clear which floor we're on?
One
Yeah.
flight of
First-
stairs up.
Yes, thank you, Galway. One flight of stairs up. This landing is just as elegant as where you were previously, with wood paneling and a large marble hearth dead ahead of you on the back wall. Above the hearth is a family portrait of an aristocratic man and woman and their 2 smiling children who you immediately recognise as Rose and Thorn. They look exactly the same as they did outside. Cradled in the father's arms is a swaddled baby. You assume Walter. But when you look at the picture a bit more closely, the mother is regarding that baby with like thinly veiled scorn. There are standing suits of armor flanking 2 pairs of doors. So there's wide doors to your right, wide doors to your left, and each pair of doors has 2 decorative suits of armor stood by them. Each suit of armor clutches a spear and has a visored helm shaped like a wolf's head. The doors are carved with dancing youths, but again, they're not really dancing. They're actually fighting off swarms of bats. The red staircase, the spiral staircase, continues up behind you, and you can feel a cold draft coming down the steps.
So just so I'm clear, I've been sort of picturing this as if we go with, like, when we came in, it was facing north. It was a long, like, east to, or it was a wide hallway going east to west with doors. And then on the far east side, we went up the stairs. So
Yes.
far to the right hand. And now we're looking at basically the same floor plan, like a long hallway that would, because we've coming up the stairs, extending in front of us, narrower to our sides.
Yeah, so if the stairs are behind you, you've got the hallway in front of you, the mantelpiece with the pictures in front of you, and you've got doors to your right, doors to your left. And so the doors to your left would be above the hunter's den and the kind of entrance hall, and the doors to your right would be above the dining room kitchen zone. I think you're not pushing to talk, but I think you've got the map sketched out.
So I'll open the first door on our right.
1 moment, please. I wanted to wait for Adam to get back. So the doors, hang on, let me check. The doors to the left, is this right? Yeah, the doors to the left are wooden and cracked open. The doors to the right are set with stained glass, and you can see a warm glow of lamplight coming from within. And Teddy, you can hear... No, I've done that the wrong way around, sorry. The doors to your right are wooden and cracked open. The doors to your left are glass with the lamplight. Doesn't really matter, but anyway. Teddy, you can hear from the lamplit room music coming out, played on an old harpsichord. And it is a lullaby that you used to hear as a child that you have not heard in... I don't know how many years, since you left where you grew up, probably, but it's weirdly off-key and unsettling. It's not quite right. And as you watch, as you're entranced by this door to your left, you see a light flicker as something moves behind the door and the music stops. So Mink, you said you went to the right. Is that still the case if something funky's going on to the left?
I guess.
Teddy would say that there's something in there as he's looking at the door to the left.
Yeah. Okay, door to the left.
And did anyone else hear that? He's asking.
Or see it? Like, would any?
Yeah, I was gonna say, did any of the rest of us see the light and/or see the flicker and/or hear the music?
The light flicker, yes. The thing moving, yes. The music, no.
Okay,
Cool.
okay. Everything in me says make sure those rooms with open doors are not going to result in surprises, but we have a baby maybe over here, so I guess we're gonna do what Teddy says. Okay,
The
wait.
kids said the adults were in the basement. And a baby can't. Babies aren't that tall, so we should be careful and quiet.
But the lullaby, that's clearly the nursery.
The what?
The nursery? It's a type of room.
I'm just gonna push open the first door and peek into the room, the wooden doors. I'm gonna do quick checks into those rooms, make sure there aren't people hiding.
Into the wooden doors to your right?
Yes. You said there's 2 cracked wooden doors to the right. I just want to kind of push open, peek in, quick scan.
Or are they double doors?
No, there's a little single door and there's there's 2 doors. There's 2 doors. So the first door gets you to an undecorated bedroom that's like a servant's quarters. Dingy, small bedrooms, nothing's in there. Very boring. But the dumbwaiter would come up there if you hadn't broken it. That's where the dumbwaiter comes up. And then the second door is a library.
Okay.
Do you want a quick description of that?
I think honestly all I'm looking for is signs of people. Actively any creatures or people in the room.
No, but this room does look interesting. It might be that there's something useful you can find in this room. Hint.
Oh, I see. Yeah, what does Mink see?
Okay. Red velvet drapes cover the windows of this room. An exquisite mahogany desk and a matching high-back chair face the entrance, and a fireplace above which hangs a framed picture of a windmill perched above a rocky crag. Situated in the corners of the room are 2 overstuffed chairs, and there are floor-to-ceiling bookshelves all along the wall, and a rolling wooden ladder that allows one to more easily reach the high shelves. This is Chelsea's room in this house, just for the record. The desk has like all the normal paraphernalia you'd expect to find on a desk. Ink, quill, tinderbox, letter kit, blah, 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 blah. There are hundreds of tomes on the shelves. Loads of books. Do you want to do an explore of the desk or the bookshelves?
Diota's probably going to want to look first at the bookshelves.
Well, they're checking this out. I'm what's her name? Mari is just like crouched down, kind of trying to be sneaky, watching where we saw movement and ready to call out or attack if anything comes out.
Okay. You don't see anything coming out of the room. You don't see the shadow move again. It seems like there's nothing going on there, but you can stay there. Or do you want to go and like have a quick sneaky peek in that room?
Party split.
Like, I mean, so she would probably, because you said it's a stained glass window, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she would probably sneak up below the level of it and just carefully, sneakily peek over because she's good at sneaking.
Amazing. I'm not even going to make you roll because I think that's so accurate. So this is like a conservatory that's really elegantly appointed, and directly opposite the glass door you can see a harpsichord. Maybe that's where Teddy heard that music coming from. I don't know. Shrug. Seems weird. And you can see cowering behind the harpsichord is a frightened old hound dog. Nothing else seems to be moving in the room. It's just a dog.
Yeah, it's just it's just a scared doggy. I'm gonna keep eyes on it. I don't know why it's scared. But maybe like hurry up. We should
If
we
you're
should save the doggy
speaking
too.
the other side of the door, the dog is going to come to the door and like whimper and scratch at it to be
Oh,
let
I'm
out.
gonna let the doggy out.
The dog licks you in the face like it's
Hey baby, it's okay.
never been more delighted to see you.
What's wrong? I had a pet growing up. He was bigger than you, but he was nice too.
The dog doesn't say anything to you.
I can't
He's-
talk to dogs. Like they can't
Oh.
talk back, rather.
He looks thin and hungry, and is kind of like giving all of the "I'm a scared dog" clues.
I'm gonna
like
give it
his
some of my
head is down.
rations.
He will
Here
eat
you
your
go, baby.
rations.
We
all
have
of
to
your
be real
rations.
quiet though. We're looking for Walter.
It's a dog. It's like still, its tail is tucked, but it's eating the food and it is licking you.
I'm gonna scritch it behind its ears if it seems like it's okay with that.
It likes that, and you rattle its collar, and you can check it's got a name tag on its collar. It's called Lancelot.
This is Lancelot, y'all. This is Lancelot, the doggy. I don't know why the kids didn't mention the doggy. And I don't
Seems
know why
weird.
it looks so underfed.
Seems weird.
Anyway,
Like
I
it's-
found a doggy.
It's like it's been in here for a while. There's nothing else in that room. It's all elegantly appointed and long descriptions and blah blah blah. Do you want to go explore the library?
I'm investigating the books cases.
All right. What is the book roll? Investigation?
Probably if I'm like looking systematically through it, which I think I am.
Yeah. Okay.
13.
Okay. So, you see a bunch of books on topics including history and warfare and alchemy, first edition collected works of poetry and fiction, like a whole bunch of super cool stuff. And you also find a beautifully engraved wooden box with like a book with the same kind of pattern on the cover. So it looks like the box and the book go together. One moment, please. Where did I put all the handouts? Oh, over here. Uh-huh. Show to players. Show to everyone. So this is the handout that you've got. It's called the Codex of Alchemical Recipes. In the box is a bunch of alchemy ingredients. What we're going to do is we're going to roll off stream for what's in the box, but it's a bunch of cool stuff. Is everybody else in the room?
I mean,
Nick is.
no, I'm hanging out with the doggy in the little like hallway thing. I'm watching them in the room, but I'm just kind of petting the doggy and feeding the doggy.
I would look at the desk. Sorry, Adam.
And Teddy,
You would like to? Okay, so sorry, Teddy, go ahead.
Teddy would have taken a moment even after Mari got the dog.
Yep.
Teddy would have stayed like looking inside the conservatory for a beat because he was really
Okay.
convinced that the baby would be in there.
I'm so sorry. I
Okay.
have to run. I'll be right back.
You're fine. So Teddy, let's do you in the conservatory. It's like a really beautiful room with upholstered chairs lining the walls and beautiful wall hangings depicting beautiful men and women and children playing instruments and the harpsichords there, and there's a standing harp and a fireplace, and it's gorgeous. But there's no baby in here. Weird. Marie, Lancelot runs away from you and goes into the library and like snuffles around under the desk. And You can follow or not. It's your choice.
Yeah, I'm following the doggy, and like as I'm following, I'm a really young adult, so I'm like keeping up this little like whispering litany because I'm trying to be quiet about like my pet growing up and how he was sweet, but I haven't seen him since I left home, and how I don't understand why they wouldn't feed the baby, and I hope the baby's okay. And I mean the baby as the dog now. I'm not concerned about an actual baby at all anymore.
Perfect,
But I'm
flawless. Yeah.
following the dog to see what it's doing.
Okay. The dog is helping Mink investigate the desk. So, Mink, if you would like to roll investigation, and Diota, if you would like to roll perception while you're looking at the bookshelf. And while those rolls are happening, Marie, as the others are studying what they're studying, your eye is drawn to another book on the bookshelf. It's titled The Life and Times of Marie, and I'm going to mispronounce your surname, Mia Tinkerer.
Yes.
So you see that book on the bookshelf. Would you like to read it?
Oh, that's weird. How could somebody write a book about me? Yeah, I'll pull the book down.
It's an accurate and detailed account of all of your life, your key history, and everything as you flick through it. This book knows everything about your life to date. On the last page, it records that you enter the house, but then it's a great big blood spatter.
Maybe one of my sisters wrote this.
There's a creek behind you. Do you want to turn around?
Definitely on high alert now.
So you turn around, and when you look back, there's no book in your hands. There's no book on the bookshelf. There's nothing there. Okay. What?
I got a 5 for the desk. Just curious, was the dog actually helping me? Can I have advantage?
Yes, the dog is helping you.
So I'll
the dog
roll
is
again.
helping you.
I got another 5.
All right. Well, you don't find anything.
Yeah,
I did specify that after I was done with the bookcases, I'm going to go look at the desk. I was just...
Okay.
Giotto went to the books first, and I had an 11 for perception.
I see
Great.
papers, and I'm like,
Seems dull. Okay, so you, Diota, spot a fake book. It's not a book. And when you pull the fake book out, springs in the hinges cause a secret door to pop open, like in the back of the bookshelf, and you get into a secret room. But you can leave that and then go look at the desk.
I'm gonna, having seen Mink do this, I'm gonna take something like, I think I have just a crowbar or something from my pack, and like wedge it through the gap. Not hard, but just like laying it, because if it's a door that would close flush, it can't swing back closed. I've found a secret room over here. Going to look at the desk for a moment, and then...
Great, let's swap. Skill swap. You look at the desk, I'll look in the secret room.
Sure, yeah. Investigation on the desk?
Investigate that desk, go away, Diota.
Okay, 13. Didn't fumble, though.
You, because you're not Mink, you find, some papers. There's nothing, like, remotely interesting or incriminating on the desk, but in the drawer, you find an iron key.
Interesting. How, like, big of a key is it? Does it seem like it... Like, is it a drawer key or a door key or...
How would you tell? It's not like a tiny weeny key.
That's more of what I meant.
Like a regular size key. Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like something that, like, there's... And is there not a locked drawer on the desk or anything where I'm like, oh, this is the key for that?
No.
Okay.
It's bigger than that. You think maybe a door key?
Yeah, but just a standard-sized lock. It's not massive, nor is it a tiny key. All right, I will take it.
Note that you have one iron key. Mink, are you looking in the secret room?
Yeah, is the dog still with me?
No, the dog's gone back to Murray.
Yay.
Okay. Yeah, I'll kind of...
And it's like snuffling at your
rations
food pouch.
pack, yeah.
I'm giving you more rations. I'm gonna have so few rations left. Hope I don't need them.
It's not important.
I'll look back to see if anyone's like with me. Because I know like Diota is digging around through the desk and stuff, but just to kind of see like if there's anyone here to back
George is
me
in
up.
the desk. Murray's with the dog. What's Teddy up to?
He would have come in after a bit. Is Mari still? Did you say Mari was like whispering to herself
She's
about
just no,
things?
she's whispering to the dog. She's talking to the dog and comforting it, telling the doggy about her life and the pets she had, and saying that, like my pet protected me, but now I can protect you. It's like turnabout. It's reciprocity. I'll take care of you. It's okay.
Oh,
And
okay.
comforting it.
Gotcha. Yeah. Teddy's just kind of weirded out by Mari. Teddy thinks Mari's acting kind of strange. Like,
Do you want to roll an
she's-
insight check?
yeah, I do.
What are you
Let's see.
checking for?
Are you
I don't know. Like, Teddy feels like Mari talking about like her past pets and stuff. He thinks that Mari's stuck in the past or something. Like, is she really fully present here?
Projecting much?
You caught that, did you? 13.
I think with a 13, yeah, Murray's fully here, and she's talking about her past and her childhood and her pets, and it's all just contextual information that, makes her a real person.
Oh, cool.
She maybe doesn't care a whole lot about anything that we're doing right now, and just since we're not finding the child or the parents, she's just focusing in on something she does care about.
Or
until
her friends.
they keep
right?
looking. Yeah, or her
Ooh,
friends.
we've not found them, have we? That's weird.
Since I'm kind of looking for backup or support, I'll kind of like I guess snap my fingers. Maybe that's a thing Mink does. And to get their attention and like gesture towards the secret room and kind of like coming.
Yeah, sure. Sorry. Do you think the baby's in there, or my friends, or the parents? Because maybe if
It's-
not, maybe we just
Certainly possible.
because babies can open. Okay,
Your
sure.
friends can open secret doors.
That's
Parents
true.
can
My
open
friends
secret
can,
doors.
and they're good at finding. They're smart. They're good at finding things.
Monsters
Okay.
hide in walls. Like
That's not. Well, that's not comforting. Anyway.
Monsters seldom are.
Yeah, sure. I can help you look really
Okay.
quickly, and then maybe we can get back to actually looking for the people we're looking for.
This is looking for the people we're looking for.
Of course, totally. I understand, Mink. I'm just really worried.
Okay. I will push in, leaving the wedge in the door, so that it cannot close fully behind me. At least I hope. And with the light that Mari hopefully is carrying with
Yeah,
her
I'll follow in and with Lancelot, and I've still got the light.
Okay. This secret room contains bookshelves packed with tomes, a heavy wooden chest with clawed iron feet stands against the wall, like ahead of you, with its lid half closed. Sticking out of the chest is a skeleton in leather armor. And you can inspect any and all of these things to find out like what's in the tomes, what's the skeleton up to, did it get eaten by the chest, etc.
Yeah, I'll turn to Mari and say, anything hinky in here? Having clocked that she's been doing that.
Skeleton?
I mean, stuff that might kill us, like this skeleton died.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I'll look for traps or anything that would be dangerous to us.
Investigation.
14.
Okay. So you realize that the skeleton belonged to a human who triggered a poisoned dart trap. 3 darts are stuck in the dead adventurer's armor and rib cage. The dart firing mechanism inside the chest no longer functions. You also find, clutched in the skeleton's left hand, is a letter bearing the seal of Strahd von Zarovich, which you're guessing they tried to get out of the chest. And you note that the tomes on the bookshelves are all about fiend summoning rituals and necromancy. So you can religion or arcana the books, or you can read the letter.
I don't think there's any traps besides the one that's been activated. At least I can't hear you talking. Is this me or you?
Nope, that's me. Sorry.
Okay.
Push to talk is helpful. The fiend summoning stuff, let's religion that.
Yep, you can religion them books.
And while he's doing that, I'll look at the letter.
Okay,
It's a natural one
Mhm.
on the religioning of the books.
Make accidentally summons a fiend.
Just from reading it. Oh wait, does this mean that Debbie gets a bad guy card? I should have reminded about that.
You already got 10.
All right, but reminding her about it should get Lena
Yeah,
a good
'cause I'm
guy
a helper.
Someone got a natural 20 before because they had advantage.
No.
Did
None
you
of
not?
those natural 20s.
I think all of our natural 20s were fake. because we
Have been
never had
fake, of
advantage.
course. Well,
We've
sucks to be
never
you,
had
but I get a
advantage.
bad boy card. Okay, so I said that we'd introduce the mechanics as we go. So in this game, we're playing with a thing from D&D is for Nerds, which is another podcast, which is this thing called Good Boy and Bad Boy cards that I bought. And any time that the players roll a natural 20, or if I roll a nat 1, they can get a good boy card. Or, like, because you reminded me, Lena, you can have a good boy card. And then if
Yes.
I roll a natural 20, or if they roll a 1, or just if I want to, I can take a bad boy card. So I'm going to take a bad boy card today. How do I click to draw? What do I get? What do I get? Let's put it in my deck. Why did my... Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. Get into my hand. Why are you not going into my hand? Ugh, this is frustrating. I'll deal with this later. I got a bad boy card. I don't know which one it was. It's wildly frustrating. What did you get, Lena?
I think we got off on the wrong foot. You reroll any charisma-based check with advantage. So the way I'm reading that is that I can, 1, use it for other people, and 2, like, we can see the result of the roll, but you don't tell us if it's enough before we decide to reroll it?
Yes. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Nice try,
Or-
Teddy.
Wait, no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm trying to look at my cards.
I just got a little alert. Teddy wants to steal this card from you.
Wow.
I'm
Wow,
just.
wow, wow, wow.
I don't remember how to do any of this.
Okay. Me neither. I got an offer they can't refuse. Trade a bad boy card of your choice for a good boy card of their choice. Of your choice. So I get to steal one of your cards, but I won't do that today. That's a future Debbie's problem. Nice one. Okay, so religioning the books. Interesting, interesting. You find out that these rituals belong to a cult called the Priests of Osibus. And the rituals are terrifying. They're for summoning demons, they're necromantic rituals, they're like, yeah, bringing things back from the dead or using things to power other things, and bloodletting and really gruesome, horrendous stuff. And I think I shared with you a handout called A Letter from Strahd, if somebody would like to read that.
Can you read
Probably-
it out loud?
Yeah, Lena, because you were the one looking at it.
So it says, "My most pathetic servant, I am not a messiah sent to you by the dark powers of this land. I have not come to lead you to immortality. However many souls you have bled on your hidden altar, however many visitors you have tortured in your dungeon, know that you are not the ones who brought me to this beautiful land. You are but worms writhing in my earth. You say that you are cursed, your fortunes spent. You abandoned love for madness, took solace in the bosom of another woman, and sired a bastard son. Cursed by darkness? Of that I have no doubt. Save you from your wretchedness? I think not. I much prefer you as you are. Your dread lord and master, Strahd von Zarevich. I found a weird letter. This is a weird letter. Mink. Uh, um, I think it might be, well, it seems like it might be the, the, uh, the man we saw in the painting. The father, I guess. I don't know why somebody was trying to steal it from him.
Could
But
it? Oh.
have I heard of Strahd at all? Does any of this ring a bell to me?
I don't know how to answer that question, Lena. Let me whisper some things at you.
Okay.
I guess probably not, then. I guess just no.
Yeah, just
That's
probably
all
not.
she's whispering.
Yeah.
Is there anything in the chest?
Oh, yes, there absolutely is. In the chest, you find 25 gold pieces. You find 3 spell scrolls. Bless. Protection from poison. And the old classic Spiritual Weapon.
And 3 is a bit more than 3, right? That's the
Bless,
conversion.
spiritual weapon, and what?
Protection from poison.
So, Mink,
Hang on, there's more in the chest.
Oh!
okay.
You also find the deed to this house that you're in. The Durst Manor. The deed to our windmill. And a signed will. Just briefly. The will is signed by Gustav and Elizabeth Durst and bequeaths the house, the windmill, and all other family property to Rosavalda and Thornbolt Durst in the event of their parents' deaths. Go, Murray.
Is it dated?
No, weirdly, that bit of the page is like scrubbed out.
Okay. So Mink, this seems maybe not good. I mean, I know you know who Strahd is, and if he's focused over here at all,
I'm sorry.
we should really hustle and get out of here.
Why do you think I know who Strahd is?
Everybody knows who Strahd is.
Murray, we're not from here. She's from here. Did I say that? She's from here. Then he's just pointing at Murray.
Where are we?
We're in Barovia. It's ruled by Strahd, the vampire lord. He's really bad. We don't want to draw his focus. Are you all? You look weird, but I thought you were just weird. Where are you from?
From outside from the desk, as you go, ruled by Strahd, the vampire lord, you're going to hear, I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, let's go back out into the main room. I'm taking everything from the chest. It's all going in pockets, stuffed down. I'm taking the money.
Well, as long as he's a vampire, not a vampire.
Those are the same thing. Just so you know.
I pull out
Really?
Kolyan Indirevich's letter, and I show Mari and I say, "Do you know who this person is?"
I assume I know who this person is since he's got a
It's-
very official title. I don't know what a Burgermeister is or whatever that was. Like Lena doesn't.
He's like the mayor. He's kind of responsible for the day-to-day running of the town of Barovia, the village of Barovia.
He's responsible for the day-to-day running of Barovia. I didn't know. I hadn't heard. I hadn't heard that his daughter was. Oh.
I think he's dead. I think we found him dead. Maybe?
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe not. We found someone
the
dead
person
with
that you
this
found
letter.
was dressed like a commoner, like a messenger.
Okay. So
Not like a noble.
got it. Okay, never mind.
I don't know who he was trying to get this message to. If he was, I just
Where
tried
you
to keep my
found the
head down.
body
That's
was
the only way
right
you
by the
survive here.
gate. So you think Kolyan was trying to get a message out of Barovia?
Well,
Sounds
the message
sensible.
seemed to suggest that too, with like surround this place,
Lock us
basically
in.
lock us in
Should-
here.
Look, the only way
So
you
while
survive
you're
here is keeping your
debating-
head down, not getting involved with these things. We should quickly, if we have to, find yes, my friends are here. So we do have to. Quickly find the people and get out of here.
So while all this is going on and you're debating, you can move into whatever room you want to move into. There's windows on most of the sides of the house, and you look up, and the fog is pressed against the glass. And as you're talking about Strahd, like a hail of bats just comes and smashes themselves against the windows repeatedly.
Ugh.
And that's where
That's
we're going
not
to end
good.
today.
That's not good. That's not good.
It's not good.
Wow.
It's not good.
Is that normal weather for here?
Bats.
No! We've drawn his focus!
Amazing.
Oh boy.
Oh, Boise. Oh, Boise. Okay. I didn't get a script for ending the stream. What do I need to say, Goy? What do I need to do? We're done. We're not dead. I'm surprised.
I'll take this session. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much, Debbie, for the wonderful GMing. I had a lot of fun. Thank you, everybody who played, who was hanging out in the audience. I believe we are doing this again in 2 weeks' time. So come back and check that out here. Yeah, and from everybody at Helpful Goat, stay safe, be well, be kind to yourselves and to each other. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.